G'day everyone and welcome to the LCK Challenger 2023 Summer Playoffs. Woo! Hell yeah, we got the two best teams, the ones that have done the mostest of the winning, and they're going to be facing off here today. One of them is going to discontinue winning, the other one is going to go on and win some more. It's going to be the best.
It's going to be good times. We have, I think, a lot of differing thoughts going into this. I do think that MATCH1 are definitely the favorite, given the form that they have showed both in the end of the split and how well they did and how clean they looked against the RX. But it's challengers, so what do I actually end up happening? We couldn't possibly know. There's no conceivable way.
I think that MATCH1 have been drafting a lot better. That they've just been their handling of the meta seems pretty good. The team in general, I think we were having a bit of a conversation about this off air, and that is the fact that the coaching staff for this team just seems to have it going on. They seem to know stuff. I don't know what it is. You used your mic cable to just knock over a pen, by the way.
Almost, yeah.
That was really exciting.
I was very scared. You guys, there's a little pen stand here with some pencils, and
I can show it to the audience.
Looped around. It was scary.
Hopefully there weren't any branded pens in there.
You couldn't see
got someone in trouble. It was like an opposing bank or something like that, and Uri Bank calls up WDG and tells them that they can never broadcast Challenger ever again.
Uri Bank, it's right here.
That's true. But what if
that's the only bank that matters?
What if these were branded as a different esports organization in Korea and Casper gets upset?
Well, I don't know. I
don't think there is one.
I don't think there are. I'm just seeing, some pencils. That's about it.
Yeah. There is a whiteboard marker there. We don't actually have a whiteboard
marker. We got like a little
very standard pencil.
A pencil, yeah.
That's an HB by the looks of things. Yeah. We are really in the playoffs theme already.
We are very serious and
do you know
dedicated casters.
Do you know why I'm struggling here? It's because I don't want to say anything bad about our boy Thumb. That's why I'm trying to sidetrack us a little bit.
I think he did have a redemption arc during that series, but for the first two games, it was really rough. I'm with you.
I feel like the rest of D+ kind of won despite
I think
he had that one last Rakan engage.
Well, I think his Rakan game was good, but I do think that if you play one good game out of 5, and you're a large part of why you went to 5, might not be something that you're going to be really happy about. We'll see if he can bounce back here today. I do think that this is going to be some amazing League of Legends, and to me, it really is about D+ individually. I think still, most notably, Thanatos and Lucid consistent. Although Thanatos did actually have a bit of a rough series last time around. Yeah, but Lucid, he's perfect. We love him. His realm.
No, I think he got what? Actually perfect.
Yeah, no, he's knocked out. I know. But individually exceptional. Poolbait when he's on also looks incredible. But then we go back and we look at the Seta versus Kami matchup, and that one went mostly in favor. The casters, Wolf and Avelis talked about this a lot as well, about how the previous series was basically brought down to who won mid lane. And with Poolbait's form right now, he can. But I don't think he consistently will against Kami.
I think Kami has been playing phenomenally well. Also, MT Bly, hi.
Hi.
Hope you've been doing fantastically well. Embryage, how you doing? Matt24, Zormi, how you doing, guys? Hope you're having a lovely time. I had a fantastic experience, by the way, with the YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just went there. I clicked on the most recent VOD, and I watched it after going to the beach the other day.
Nice.
And so I caught up with the entirety of the last match. It was absolutely fantastic. Got to do it on my own time. They replayed YouTube chat, so I got to experience that. It was absolutely fantastic. But let's introduce the teams. D+ Kia's Challenger roster are now going to walk out and sit down on their chairs. I was like, are they invisible? Is that their special trick here today? But no, they are going to walk out. And Thumb bringing in the rear, as you can see. And I'm hoping that he has a better day here today. And I'm also hoping that Poolbait has a better day here today as well, because he was definitely up and down. Tristana tends to do that, but his performance was definitely up and down the other day.
Yeah, and I think this has been a continuing issue for Poolbait, who, when he is on, looks absolutely incredible. We cast that DRX D+ series. That's one I always go back to. His LeBlanc was that was one of the most impressive carry performances I've seen. And then in other games, he just, I think his laning phase generally is good, his early lane in particular, but then you get to mid game, he's just jumping onto people where he shouldn't, gets taken down in side lanes, and in general is a pretty decently sized liability for his team.
By the way, I just saw a comment in Twitch chat, which I've realized is exactly me. Hello, Atlas, the T1 hate lover.
That's
am
you.
actually kind of a T1 hate lover.
You are.
I just
You
love
love
it.
to hate.
No, it's
You
not
hate
that I
to
love.
love.
I love it when people hate me for thinking that I dislike T1. I just
Yeah,
love
but there's a lot of layers to it as well.
I know, but it's just, oh my god, it makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. Anyway.
Is Thanatos the best LCK CL top laner in the... that is tough. I do think Thanatos has people that come close to him when it comes to performance. I think the only player that I'd say stands completely alone is Lucid. I think everyone else has like someone that matches them well. Satap on a good day, you know.
I think Docdown's pretty good.
Yeah, okay, well, that's because he's a he's a world's quarter finalist, exceptional AD carry. Okay, fine. Docdown we can leave by himself. That's okay. I'm fine with that.
He kind of is by himself here in Challenger,
Yeah,
isn't he?
he is.
Just a little bit. Oh, Lunana Bunny Stacks. I actually kind of love that.
I do love an Affogato. Remember the one we got from the place in...
Wait, where did the Affogato come from? Oh, very, very nice. Sorry, I was more
Oh, you were
commenting on
the
Lucid
bottom
or
one,
Lucid.
yeah. It's good. I mean,
That's one that really doesn't quite work in speech. But let's introduce Nongshim and the team that could, the little team that could. Of course, with another relatively large name. We were talking about Docdown before, but Vital is also, you know, played in the LCK, played overseas, played in Australia, of all places.
some tiny man.
Yeah.
Little Vital.
A little Vital. And Double H as well. We've got two hands going up against one thumb. How one-sided could this matchup be?
I never thought about it that way, but I kind of love that. To me, the most impressive part of this,
I think I know what you're
roster
gonna
has been Kami. And maybe that's because I'm biased, but I do have to say
I
that
actually, more recently, for me, it's been Sounder.
So-
I think Sounder has been playing amazingly
But
well.
the biggest surprise is Mahao. Because this man went from a
True.
legitimate Cassante one-trick
Yeah.
to being one of the best top laners in the league. And I gotta just commend the coaching staff for Nongshim, because last year they made 2 miracle runs, one of which actually won them the finals, when the team was not hyped at all coming into playoffs. And then this year, they get a brand new academy team. Mind you, also the previous Nongshim roster had actually been playing together for a really long time, if you go back, like way back. And as I recently learned, we're on a roster with Chuhan.
Yeah?
The roster that's now in the LCK. That
Oh my
roster
God.
actually, I know, and Bay.
Good God.
I
what
know.
a
Isn't it
time
isn't
to
it
be
amazing?
alive.
World champion. They played with world champion John and MSI representative and PCS champion
yeah.
Bay.
Man, that guy has got a lot of accolades.
I
For a
know.
player that, like, we really tend to overlook quite a lot. Absolutely massive amounts of accolades. I do want to take a short aside.
Hit it.
To,
Birthday shout out.
Yeah,
You gotta do it.
Amin's little bro, Karim. Happy birthday! Hope you really, hope you love the games today, and I hope you have an absolutely lovely day. It's just a joy to have you here in Twitch chat alongside us. And now it's a copy pasta. So now everyone, Karim's just going to get shout outs absolutely everywhere.
Love that.
3XLG. I really hope that they copy pasted it just so that I would definitely read
No,
it
I like it.
as a shout out. That's really lovely.
You're the best chat.
Yeah, that's just really,
Yeah,
really
again,
beautiful.
So HH went up and had a 6k. Vital was third as well. Against what is the best Docdown, without a shadow of a doubt. Or the best bot lane rather, in Docdown and Plata.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane. Affogato is a... Oh, I thought Affogato was the
A
coffee.
Taotis defense? Sounds good.
You think there's a case for Miles or CL? Yeah, I think so. I think Thanatos has slipped up a little bit recently. Not as much as Poolbay.
I think there's been a lot of catching up. I think that's
That's
kind of what's
actually, I
happening.
like that. It's
I
a
pr- I
much better way.
prefer to think about it that
I
way, you
love
know?
that. That is better. Because when you look at the improvement that Miles made again, this man was a Cassante OTP, and not even that good. It was just like, oh, it's
Yeah.
open, lock it in, and then he would be like kind of okay with some pop-off games, but
Ojin is like, I don't care, 3-zip.
wow.
Whoa. And I wasn't expecting this. I actually thought that Wolf and I would be in the minority. Because I think that, like, I was watching along that series, and I could hear in Wolf's voice that he was very impressed with how Nongshim played. And I think most of us actually, I think I was the only one out of us that predicted them to win their last series. And that was off a hunch, right? Like, I actually think that, like, you know, if I was to go down to stats and things like that, I would have probably chosen differently if I had to mathematically predict it. But I just had a feeling that they were going to do well. And so we went with it that way. This time around, though, I kind of like the fact that it is 5-4 because they did just look really good.
I think it's a very good representation as well of what I expected today. I don't think D+ should be in a position where they reverse sweep again, because I think against Nongshim you're not going to be able to, because this team's mental is it's Nongshim. Don't try and win that. Don't try and win that battle.
Isn't it amazing? Because they're up against D+, and as an organization right now, they are the most flippy, emotional, like you never know whether they're going to be able to follow up a good performance with another one, or whether it's just going to be mental collapse even without the slightest of provocation.
Yeah.
Whereas Nongshim are just sunshine and rainbows. They're a Carly Rae Jepsen song, you know, happiness era.
I know.
You know,
I mean that's always.
Didn't she also write an entire album based on complete and utter heartbreak because she went through a really bad breakup?
Yeah, but that's...
Not that I've watched a Carly Rae Jepsen interview or anything like that.
No, you would never.
It was purely for research for this particular role as Chronicle co-caster.
You need the casting with me. You have to do your research, you know. You know this is going to come up.
Speaking of research, there's a draft. We have a Tristana, a Nocturne, and a Poppy banned away.
D+,
so
we
D+
learned this.
don't like yodels.
We learned that there is one thing you don't want to give if you want to play aggressive, which we know you love.
Cassante.
And it's the tree.
Yeah, and we've
It's
also seen
Maokai.
Jace do extremely well here in Challenger. Nongshim are now kind of like flabbergasted as to why...
Slam Jay's Maokai?
Or Jack. They've been Jack Sejuaniing a lot as well. I prefer it. I'd almost prefer Jack's Maokai. It's weird, but Jack Sejuani, like, you don't want to give away Sejuani Renekton
but
on
now
the other side.
can go Kaisa Jay's Maokai?
That does seem very, very strong. But didn't Nongshim also beat the DRX Kaisa Jace Maokai pretty comfortably? When they were playing, I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure they dispatched of it relatively well. They sort of played both sides of the matchup, which is why it started to look pretty one-sided. But D+ are a different team, and this does rely on powerful mid-jungle. Lucid isn't on a carry, and that makes us a little bit worried, but this is a good pick for Poolbay. And Colmy going to have a bit on his shoulders here this game.
And right now, Nongshim setting up for a draft which is very well-rounded, but not necessarily something that I think is going to be insanely strong. Well, the main issue I have is that D+, if they played as well, like the double poke of Kaisa and Jace is so obnoxious. I think it has a very smooth power curve as well, because Jace really kind of bridges the gap of where Kaisa becomes obnoxious, particularly when you have a Maokai set up with it as well. And you can still flex his Maokai, right? You can still end up going with the Maokai for thumb, and maybe try and get something that can invade sound. I don't think that'll be the case, because I think it'll be really hard to get a winning 2v2 top matchup. So I do want to see Gragas ban though here from Nongshim. I think that Gragas is exceptional.
No, Rumble.
So I think Rumble is a lot stronger when it comes to the offense, but I do think you can shut down the Rumble, particularly because Vanitas looked a little bit dicey on it.
Oh, and Rumble Maokai isn't exactly the greatest of 2v2s, especially in
the team fighting is amazing, but the 2v2 is definitely a weak spot. Instead, though, they're going to go for Necton.
Huh, which you're kind of happy to...
I would have loved either Rumble or Gragas. I think you can make an argument for both, but I think that both those champions now are feeling pretty amazing.
That is Rel on 4, kind of crazy. And the thing that's really insane to me is the fact that we don't see a Zeri ban. We don't see any of these like team fighting AD carry bans and a Xayah is banned away. Like, what would you want ideally into Xayah? Kaisa and Jace, ideally. They're like the two best champions in the meta right now for dealing with that.
I don't like the Xayah ban either. I imagine it's because the laning phases we've seen has gotten more and more Xayah favored as people have gotten better at like pushing the leads there. Yeah, this composition from D+, I think, is kind of...
I mean, it's kind of revolting, isn't it?
Kind of revolting. Is it going to be Samira?
Samira?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm looking towards. You can also go Nila. The most obvious, though, is
Zeri,
yeah. Definitely going to be the case. If you can get to mid to late as Nongshim, I think that obviously composition has an incredible amount of team fighting power, and I think the Sejuani-Rel combo is definitely one that is really threatening. But if D+ ever get a lead in this game, it's going to be unplayable, and I think that D+ their early game definitely has been fairly decent. And I think the only matchup that they're really losing is top 2v2.
I would agree. I do think that a place to play through for Nongshim is the bottom lane. Rahel and Thumb have certainly looked like they've had their fair share of weaknesses. Of course, the Rakan has been Thumb's best-looking champion here in the playoffs thus far. And so hopefully he can have yet another good performance. I think this game is going to be really telling as to the form of these two teams, because if Nongshim wins against this comp from D+, like, you do bonus damage to the mental of your opposition if they come out with the pride of place Maokai Jace composition and then just fall to this casual team fighting 1-4 composition that Nongshim have put together. I think that there are a lot of ways to win the game as this Nongshim comp, which is really, really nice, and it is well-rounded, but like you say, they did give away a lot in order to get it.
We'll see if they're able to punish early, because I do think that the D+ composition is a 2-carry composition, can run into trouble if both Poolbay and Rahel are set behind. But that will mostly come down to like 5v5s or 4v4s outside, again, of top, which it is definitely hard post 6 to punish Thanatos on this Cassante. We'll see if they're able to get something going earlier. But as long as Nongshim don't fall too far behind, I do think that like if the poke gets online, and you're playing into Maokai, one of the most oppressive champions that we have in the game, when it comes to playing from a lead, it can just leave you with very little space for missteps.
Very true. I'm very excited to see how this one is going to go. Let's jump onto the Rift, do some rocking out, have a great time as we head towards Game 1.
Are you a seal?
Yeah, I was going for a seal vibe.
It actually was.
I'm really glad that you picked it. Wow, we've got
Nice.
some good synergy today.
Sealless?
Oh,
Or at seal?
It didn't come across the way that I wanted it to, really.
At seal.
But I was trying to go for like a bit of a seal vibe.
At seal just sounds like you're adding seal and you know, sending a tweet to him, thanking him for Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah, something like that. Silly Goofy Lawn. What an incredible name. I'm not going to lie, that's probably one of my favorite.
Sounded like joking.
It sounded like choking. All right, I'll work on it for next time. What do you think that like the next one should be if it's not going to be me aggressively choking? As
maybe
we do
Fanga Boy style do.
Doot, 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 doot.
That works.
I think you have to have a specific rhythm to it. As Double H taking a bit of damage here towards the bottom side.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wait, who's faster? Who's faster?
Huh.
Boom. Ah, I was first.
He nailed it.
Got him.
I pressed the button, but now he doesn't exist anymore. He's been
gone.
just booped into the oblivion. Did I unban him? I hope I didn't unban him.
That would be very funny, but according to chat, I don't think that's the case.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. He's currently banned. He's currently banned. He's currently banned. Absolutely fantastic.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mahao, again, 12-4 on the Jacks. HH 12-4 on the Rel.
Damn.
Yeah.
These are some... and this is what we were talking about, right? Because we really like the D+ composition. It's something we've seen be very successful. It's something that even Nongshim piloted to great success as well. But these are definitely some picks that Nongshim have made work in the past as well. And in that whole series against DRX, it was a battle for top priority in the draft, is what it sort of felt like. And this was like cream of the crop. You get the Jax Sejuani and you feel fantastic about it.
You do have to play towards it, which we'll see whether that actually is going to be the case.
True. 3 losses on this Cassante for Thanatos. Actually kind of interesting because you see 72.7% win rate and normally you'd be like, damn, that's amazing. But then you remember that this team was 22-0. So the majority of their champions they have very, very high win rates on.
They do. Yeah, they just kind of won on everything a lot. So not going to be too crazy as a fun. Very much on the edge. Will take a hit there, but with the Guardian proc, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Does not hit his Gleaming Quill though, so
oh no!
Will not be able to heal back up, as we've seen this a ton, using the Jax to proxy early on.
I do like that Sounder is actually towards the top side as well, because we have seen some Jaxes more recently just get killed by proxy top side of the map.
Yeah.
Hasn't been as good, so going for that cheetah recall. Mile not going to have to use his flash, which feels, sorry, his teleport, which feels real good. I think Thanatos as well, having dealt with his wave, is going to be all right. But a lot of vision being set up here by Nongshim towards the top side of the map, making sure that they can keep their eyes on Lucid. And this is another way to sort of play towards your top lane as well. Actually use your vision resources to allow Mihail to play with a little bit more reckless abandon. I believe they just spotted the Maokai, and so he knows that he will have to be a little bit more careful. There it is. And also Sounder playing on vision as well. So it's now time for Mihail to be a little bit more careful once that Maokai goes away from his Grump.
And looking at some itemization choices here, we have Call Me.
Did Vital just nail that, by the way? Just getting in and grabbing the cannon?
Yeah. He also had a really nice wall jump earlier on, so
gorgeous.
Doing very well. Call actually for Vital, so if he goes even against Rel, that's already a big win. Poolbay also went for First Strike, which really is a confirmation that they are going to be playing for poke, which I like. You know, I think that Phase Rush, as good as it is definitely a rune that feels to me more suited on the top lane variety of Jace, where the extra movement speed gives you a lot of safety in lane. And with how you trade often against a Nazir, I don't really think you're going to be getting too much value out of it, because he doesn't need to be in melee range to fight you. And it gives you a pretty big speed boost once we get to the later stages. As a
nice sidestep there from Vital. Still does manage to knock up Double H as Lucid's coming down. Vision here in the brush, does spot the tree. Who's going to slink back into the fog of war. Sounder has started off this Drake. Little kitty cat going to help out there. As D+ kind of fighting for some sort of control of this bottom side. Sounder might need to move away from this dragon though, because it does look like DK have been able to get a little bit of the inside track towards the dragon, and Sounder will respect it.
Hopefully should know that this is happening.
Yeah, he's actually just going to face check it though. Permafrost starting to be stacked up here, and he does get stunned, but Lucid moving in now as well, and Call Me just a little bit lower than he'd like to be in this scenario.
That sidestep there on the W, really big, because if he doesn't sidestep the second activation, Sounder gets his E off, then he actually dies. So really well done there by Poolbay, and it ends up not having anything happen. It was just an even trade.
Yeah, and
nothing crazy happens.
No flishy flashies, no nothing like that.
No gameplay.
Yeah, just eating some honey fruit here. Mihail basically on honey fruit spawn.
I think honey fruit tastes like honeydew melon.
I would assume so.
Right?
Or honeysuckle.
Never had that.
Flower.
Have you had what's your opinion on honeydew?
I'm not a huge melon guy, just in general.
Oh, I love them. Big fan. Watermelon is the best, obviously.
I think my mom tried to feed me too much melon when I was a kid, and I just got sick of it, you know?
I mean,
what is it? Cantaloupe? Cantaloupe was I think that's honeydew melon.
I think it's the same.
Basically the same.
Yeah, I like them, but I know that it's a very popular opinion for people not to enjoy them.
Vestrogen, I was waiting for someone to do it. I'm glad someone did. Because they had to, you know. It's just one of those things.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it's like no. When there's a dad joke and it's looming, you have to. And I'm really glad you did it, because it's like it would have been something that we couldn't do.
So Waprax, what happened to DK roster? Can anyone explain? They are all gone to start an alpaca farm. Well, they went to Deft's alpaca farm. Or does he have a llama farm? I always forget.
No, he's got an alpaca farm in Tasmania.
Is it? Yeah, Deft has the alpaca farm.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Chovy has the
llama farm.
Camel farm.
Camel farm in New Zealand. There you go.
Yeah, I think Fake has got a llama farm in Queensland.
There you go. I always lose track of them. It's hard to
no, it's hard. It's hard.
We do have level 6 available for Lucid.
Yeah, Sounder going to dive in. There's a decent crash down. Lucid just 100 to 0'd. And now there's no smite, so this Drake should go over to Nongshim. They're looking for even more here as well, though, as Thumb trying to keep his teammates alive. Voidseeker's flying forward, but with the man advantage, Nongshim are still looking good. We do have a back coming through from Mahal, but he does not have teleport, and Thanatos did have his available. Nongshim not going to push the issue, but still, grabbing a Drake and First Blood feels fantastic.
And with Aftershock, maybe Lucid survives there for the rest of his team to arrive, but mistake there from the player, thinking that he's tankier than he actually was. Just gets engaged on by Sounda. Doesn't even get to use his flash. And again, this is phase rush Maokai, so you are really good when it comes to setup, but even with the ultimate, just really well done. Sounda and HH very much on the same page. And like, even if Thumb gets a multi-man knock-up there isn't really an opportunity. Rahel didn't have 6 there just yet, so he won't be able to join the fight at a moment's notice. Nice opening there for Nongshim, who punish Lucid overstepping.
Yeah, and Embriage has a very good point, because we haven't had Jeff Drake for a while. Lake Drake, haven't had that guy either. Haven't really done the full adjustment of the naming convention, and maybe it's something we're just going to have to look at for 2024.
We do often just forget stuff.
Yeah, that is generally how it's done.
When we're like, oh, this is cool, and then we forget about it. Unless it really sticks, like, what did they mean by this, or it's stage on,
or it's challenges, baby.
Yeah, that's a classic as well. Da Crank.
Da Crank.
Instant classic.
That's true.
Never gonna let that one go. So we do have Lucid in the area, but
ooh, grand entrance.
Doesn't look like they want to go.
Double H does not. He does not seem enthused by that. It wasn't actually that grand, as it turned out. Call Me just playing bouncy here, wanting to get rid of anyone that's coming on over, and it looks like neutral objectives, bit of a monopoly being held by Nongshim, much like they have on the Ramyun market as well here in Korea.
Might be looking for a dive here. It's
Yeah,
kind of an all
that
situation.
Vital just gorgeous.
They will not have intel on where Lucid specifically is, but it looks like they don't want to go for it. So D+ really respecting here. And Nongshim running away with the early game, because they will be able to build up a pretty sizable gold lead. And additionally, and I think this is really important, Vital also sitting on the call, right? So you can actually build up a about 1.5k gold lead here just through the early objective control. Now, there are a lot of subpar Drakes still available. I'm looking at Ocean, I'm looking at Chemtech, that are still in the pool. Hextech Mountain already taken out. Could be Cloud, in which case, obviously, going to be over the moon. Infernal, self-explanatory, but...
Vital just goes back and completes his static shiv.
Oh, yeah.
With 6 stacks left on his cult. So it's a very, very happy Zeri. Rahel as well, actually a dagger ahead, in theory. So we do have item parity towards that bottom side, but it does feel like Nongshim have about as much of a handle on this game as they want at this stage. Going to need more to feel comfortable about how this composition is going to work, and the mid game is where DK's comp really comes alive.
Yeah, and once Kazanze gets there, I also think that the disengage from D+ is a little bit stronger than it was there. But we'll have to see, because I do think the DK comp actually scales really well, but it is way harder to execute. Because for Nongshim, the pressure on you is press your buttons and go. And if you do that well, then you buy space for Vital, buy space for Call Me, as Thumb will sidestep and be completely fine. And here is the gold lead that we were kind of expecting. As Sounda is fishing with his flail.
Yeah, doesn't get caught up by the little sapling kitty cat. As Mahal, understandably, feeling pretty good in this lane, but we've seen Casantes fall much further behind than this. I actually think that Thanatos has been coping with this very, very nicely, trying to keep that Jax down as much as he can. However, the Jax does have almost the most CS in the game, and so will definitely be scaling towards problem status towards the later stages. But I think, like, there are times where you're really scared of what a Jax is going to do, and there are times where you're not as worried. And I think when you've got a poke composition like this, when you're just trying to keep the team at arm's length, you're not as worried about it outside of in the split push. And I think that when you've got a 4-1 composition like this, splitting the map against poke is actually kind of nice if you get yourself a Drake buffer. So these first few dragons, I think, are extremely important for Nongshim to at least contest, you know? Try and get themselves there to buy extra time. Because I think in the late game, 4-1 like feels absolutely fantastic because the Jax can 3-hit turrets. So you really have to force decisions as Thumb. Possibly just caught out of position here. The Permafrost not even going to go off. Wasn't actually in range towards the end there and ran out of vision.
Yeah, and trying to flash on top of Rokan definitely can backfire. Didn't really use anything though, so they're still going to be happy with this. And we'll see, because Maha has already walked over. Not a lot of vision control here available for D+, and if they don't want to invest...
it's gone.
Yeah, they're just letting it go. But they're not really getting anything out of this, because the rotation from Nongshim is so clean here.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice dragon. It's like the spiciest of all the dragons. Like this is the series. I mean, it's a collection of Nongshim-based dragons, you know, because you get the bowl, the ceramic bowl, right, made out of the mountain. You put it in the microwave, right, Hex Tech, you know, and then it becomes like fire afterwards because it's really hot. Ramen. It's beautiful. It's like a little story.
I like it. I had to give it some fun.
You were not making good faces. You weren't making good faces.
Because I wasn't sure until you finished, and I'm like, at the end, I like good metaphor. I enjoyed that. That was a story.
I love when we get first-time chatters, just question marks. That's when I know that I've said something silly.
That you've done a good job. Yeah.
They went out of their way to stop relaxing on the couch or something like that, so that they could just type some question marks. To let me know that I'm an
wouldn't
idiot.
be good on LCK broadcast. No, this is why Challengers is just, it's more intense LCK in every way.
I like to use it as a testing ground to see which content is the good content.
This is as a great storytelling here, showcases us the amount of vision control towards the top side with Herald spawning in a minute.
Trying to distract us from the Ramen conversation.
Yeah, no, actually, I wanted to go back to that, because this is the equivalent to when an artist doesn't play under their own name and just goes to small clubs and plays, or like a stand-up comedian is just doing, random open mics just to try and get a feel for his new material. But I don't ever hear you do the same bit. Though
That's true,
I've never heard you do a bit.
Maybe it's the vibe of the bit. As Lucid is going to just send Vital a message.
That's nice.
The message was, you will take some damage now. Blastcone is going to get Double H out of there. As Thumb, just trying to be a nuisance. Success.
Nongshim won this one, DK. Okay, well, you're a first-time chatter, so this makes sense. You have no idea what's going to happen in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way of knowing.
But we're not going to be mean, because you're a sad man. So we wouldn't be mean about it.
Maybe they're just giving your opinion on the game. You get the benefit of the doubt, but welcome
is
to
that the real
Challengers.
Dagon? Hey, brother.
Wait, the real?
I'm a huge fan of you too.
Oh my God.
Especially your
Dagon?
hugs. It's especially your hugs. The man hugs like nobody's business.
If Atlas says that you have good hugs, that's a big compliment.
He is a solid hugger, 100%.
7th time chatter. I am tired. I hope you're not tired soon, Hagu. I hope that you find whatever tires you.
His name is like an exasperated and in Korean.
Yeah.
It's like, Hago. What else do I have to do? Oh, man. Anyway.
So, first turret blood went over to D+, but it just meant that they're even on gold, and now the second Herald also got over. Nongshim has gotten every single objective, and I think there's an argument to be made for D+, that they want to go in as soon as they hit their 1 spikes. Those have now been hit. Obviously, Rahel will be getting his Nashor soon, which is a pretty decent one, but if you actually wait till 3rd, I am a little bit worried, because I do agree with you. I think the fact that Nongshim will then be able to just give up Drakes will make the Jax a much bigger threat. On the flip side, though, it is an interesting situation, because I really don't think you want to be giving up any individual Drakes in this one. I think Nongshim actually just wants to full 5v5 for every single one. Because Infernal Drakes individually are so insane.
Yeah,
and
true.
particularly for a 2-carry composition, the weakness that Poolbay or that D+'s comp have, I think are very much mitigated if they get 2 or 3. Even if they don't get Soul.
Yeah.
If they get 2 or 3 Infernal Drakes, that's always going to be tough. But the way that Nongshim have been playing the macro, I think is a lot better, right? And this is something that D+ struggled with against Hanwha as well. Just rotations, early vision setups. It's really clean. And again, this team has been in Challengers for a year, and they're taking tempo backs, a minute and a half before an objective. They're setting up their vision appropriately. All these things that we even see LCK teams at times struggle with.
Absolutely. Not to mention the fact that they've also got some sick mechanics as well, as Thanatos is going to deliver Mihail to a place where he doesn't really want to be. Blast Cone creates some shenanigans, but it is just going to mean that both of the top laners are going to back away. Ulti in trade for nothing, though, and so therefore, probably feeling pretty good as Mihail for his next trade. And look at this, now just going to be hunting down Thanatos. He's managed to at least push him back with the W. But still, Jack's starting to win out pretty strongly here in these side lanes. There was something that I wanted to add, but I forgot.
About Hoax, maybe?
No. It was about the game, weirdly
Hoax
enough.
landing. This is big.
Yeah, this is what D+ want to be doing. And this is actually before the 2-item spike that I was expecting Poolbay to play around. Nongshim going to be thanking their lucky stars that they
yeah, this one should definitely be going to D+ with the amount of control they have now. They do need to actually start it, though.
They haven't done that quite so much. As Lucid actually going for a bit of a greedy route here. Nongshim are going to be able to buy them a ticket to the river by throwing Shirley into the mid lane. She is going to go for a bit of a headbutt. And yeah, Sounder just walks on in and starts this up.
Because HH was actually chunked, and you gave him time to walk back. We'll see if D+ can get control back of the pit, but not very impressed by what happened here as the teleport from Mahao comes in.
Yeah. He is going to turn up. That is immediately Thanatos joining him here as well, as Vital throws out an extendo beam just to try and break up this fight. There's a blue buff actually waiting for someone on DK to come over and collect it. Looks like Thumb's going to take that one, and now the Drake is being contested. Just under 50% health as D+ grabs some control. There is the smite for Lucid. They managed to lock that one down, but can they win the team fight is the question. Double H trying to find his way in as Thanatos will be permanently frosted and then delivered to the fridge. Vital going to collect that one out as Thumb able to escape. Mihail choosing the target with the most mobility on the team was probably suboptimal, but sometimes you just got to hit what's in front of you. And now with Thanatos dead, Nongshim do have a little bit of control of the map that they can utilize, but at just over 20 minutes, they're probably not wanting to head towards Baron.
And a lot of the poke not actually landing there. If Poolbay hits another Shock Blast or two, if Rahel actually is a second item, I think that the damage would be looking a lot better for D+. It's really good that they actually get this smite, because otherwise they would be in deep trouble. This was just a pure flip. And then here, unfortunately, isn't really able to have a big impact. They don't actually proc the W on HH. His plasma stacks don't actually go off, so it's not an even trade. And Mahao also on the flank. I think the call to back off there from D+ is fine, but they do leave Thanatos out to dry, and even with his ultimate back up after that topside play, will be going down. But this is an even trade, right? You get a kill on Nongshim, but you give over an Infernal Drake, and again, I do think that D+ definitely uses. And I think Fun mechanically this game actually has been looking a lot better, you know, just his movement, his sidesteps, but in that team fight did seem a little bit lost.
And then you cast a curse.
I mentioned
you had to do it to him, didn't you? Has to flash. As of course, his grand entrance is now on cooldown. It was literally, it was actually the
one.
It was the first unforced error that he's made all game, and you made sure that it happened.
Unbelievable.
I know. It's just one of those things. It's Thanatos looking for Sounder here. The rest of Nongshim ready to back him up though. Mile towards that bottom side with no teleport.
Someone needs to catch that wave. This is D+. I don't know about this, the rotation, I think a little bit sloppy. He's going to give Mahao a free turret here. He's sitting on a bounty.
And this is the thing, like, Rahel is going to get slowed down. Emperor's Divide needs to be flashed there. And Rahel now, without that one, Killer Instinct dives forward. Glacial Prison not going to find the markers. Rahel is so incredibly low, and they take down Vital. Oh man, just baited in. Sounder gonna have to flash away. Twisted Advance, Bramble Smash, and Sounder having to run as fast as his little legs can carry him. He's burning, but it's not enough. And he will survive with about 20 health or something like that. As DK, they're just gonna move straight over towards this Baron. And Double H, he will get vision, but is there anything that they're going to be able to do about it is the question.
The
Teleport in
low. This is
from
a very
Colmy.
Baron.
This is very dangerous. Grand Entrance is about all they can really offer as D+. Lucid staying in the pit. They're trying to commit to it, but look at these health bars. They're getting torn to shreds. Still, the empowered backs trying to come through here as Mihail just going to lap up the dregs of D+. And trading 3 for the Baron. Might still be worth it depending on what we see in the future.
I think it might be even. I don't know. This game is wild, Atlas. As D+, if they get that kill on Sounda, that doesn't change the fact that you're doing a very early Baron here, right? And the health bars are actually quite low from the chunk, and even without Kami having his ultimate available, not going to be enough. And because specifically Rahel and Pulbane need to get out, look how long this Baron actually takes to... goes down to 600, but it's smite versus no smite, right? And then Mahel here, credits in, goes over, make sure that the Thumb and Pulbane don't actually get to back. And it is currently a negative Baron power play because they had to give up 2 turrets. I do think that they'll get mid and the outer top, and it'll just be even, I think, by the end of it. But Mahel getting fed is huge because, as mentioned, giving the Jax a win condition is definitely a problem. As H8 is definitely
He's very dead, yeah. And that's Rahel picking up yet another kill. So he has 2 now.
Rage Blade almost done after this. I would have really liked Ludens, especially because he's so AP, but I do think that this build is a bit more consistent, and you are playing with the Jax, who will jump on top of you, and you can't auto him during Counter-Strike. But outside of that, having the ability to do some damage is still quite nice. And game continues to be even, Atlas. This is a good opener.
It certainly is. I am a little bit worried for D+, though, because I think that in the ultra late game, I don't know what you do about Mahal. I don't know how you stop him from just killing your Nexus.
No, ultra late game, I think poke always will fall off. So I think you have until like 45 minutes. Eventually the defensive itemization becomes way too strong. But I also think it's almost impossible for Nongshim to like ever proactively take an objective because of the poke.
But that's why the dragons were so important for them to collect earlier on, because if you have to force D+ to come to the objective that you choose, that's when you have so much power against the poke.
We are looking at it actual Thanatos as he was trying to threaten a pullback into the turret there. As
Mahal is like, I'm going to proxy behind the inhibitor turret. As D+ going to push them away from this this outer that is on its very last legs. Sounder taking a bunch
want to get the
of
Dragon,
poke.
though. Dragon is absolutely huge here because it means that D+ actually start threatening closer to Soul. And again, I do think a lot of the issues that this comp might have are very much alleviated, as we did see Vital actually take a hit there, by the access to a Drake, and it does look like Nongshim is going to opt out of trying to contest this. Still, the macro call, I think, for Nongshim doing really, really well. They are able to trade 3 turrets, and D+ end up getting none. But they do get a second Drake, so it's favorable for Nongshim, but the Soul at the same time does feel like a win condition for D+ because of Kai'Sa and Jace get access.
I think actually,
so
like,
Soul,
if you manage to keep getting all of these Drakes over and over again, uncontested like this, then the poke composition will be fine. I think poke uses Infernal better than any other type of composition, because you just get to sort of free hit and fish, and then if you land one, you get massive amounts of damage with the Infernal Soul. So I do kind of like that, and with 2.5 items now for Pulbay, he is kind of slapping, as well as Rahel, who, like you mentioned before, after that kill, goes and collects his Rage Blade. He's a very happy boy. Thanatos has a Force of Nature, as well as his Crossfire Gauntlet, so he's also starting to get very, very tanky. I don't think that Mahal cares in the slightest about what's going on. He's going to build his Breaker of Hulls, and all the boats are going to shiver in fear at this guy, and who could potentially... Why doesn't Jax have a skin where he carries an oar around?
An oar?
Like Fisherman... It's not Fisherman Jax, it's like Sailor Jax.
That could be cool. I could
and
see
he just
that.
smacks people with an oar.
That'd be cool.
From his dinghy.
Very specific phrasing, but no, I get it. What scout is the league full of fraud? No, yeah, very, very good, Mr. Shika. That's a challenger fan right there. This league is bad. None of these players are good.
Yeah, none of them.
Sounds like an awesome idea.
G2 fans now comparing the team to Challenger's team. Oh, I think G2 are absolutely fine, don't you worry. That being said, I've actually started to get confused myself because I feel like Challenger has really upgraded. Like, We need to realize the fact that Nongshim just brought up their entire Challenger roster, and they weren't the worst team in the LCK.
They weren't.
But they were a middling team in Challenger, even though they won.
It's also, you know, like, oh, my team full of LEC veterans is better than a 16-year-old called Fun.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think that.
yeah,
I don't think that's really
I
that's not the point. But these are just they're really great players, and there's also really great coaching staff as well. Obviously, based on the fact that Nongshim have kind of come out of nowhere, have improved so quickly this season. There are just a lot of smart people behind a lot of these teams.
It's easy to look...
Vital misses a cannon, so
that's a big problem. It's easy to look worse when you're playing against really good opposition. You know, it's better to be the Denf Plays team in the LCK. Those players could still go to literally any non-LPL region and crush.
I think so too.
That's just kind of how you know, relative strength works. Yeah, this is as a he's breaking the hulls, Atlas.
Oh yeah, he's big time breaking the hulls. Look at this, he sensed a hull and he dove straight on top of it.
Thanatos, I don't like this itemization. Force of Nature. If you go Sunfire and maybe Warmox or something similar, you at least will have the health bar to kind of try and keep mitigating these checks. The lack of wave clear that is provided also is rough, and there is a lot of AP damage on Nongshim, sure, but that's not who you're going to be playing against. Even with the mixed damage.
It means that Vital gets to build this Bloodthirster and not even too upset about it as Emperor's Divide comes down, but that Azir is just dead. Sounder now looking to answer it with a kill onto the thumb, and now Vital has got his claws into Lucid. Not going to be able to Twisted advance away from that one, and in the meantime, the biggest problem is going to arise. The Jax that is unmitigatable. Okay, let's see whether Poolbay can actually stop this from happening, as he does find a two-man stun, gets pushed away, and then immediately dives back in. Poolbay almost just murdered by his top laner. It's an absolute disaster. Mihail flashes away, but he's still going to be dead. And Nongshim, in the meantime, are looking for a Baron.
TPs are available.
Yeah, Rahel coming on over here. Let's see whether the Baron will be secured. There it is, and everyone dashes over the wall.
Oh, I was waiting for Rahel to take a W. Doesn't end up doing it.
Oh, 2 people dead and the Baron wearer's alive.
Yeah, this is the first time that...
It's the trade.
It's actually a good trade, though, this time for Nongshim. As we're taking a look at this, I'm just kind of baffled at them losing this. Because we go in, right? We kill Calming instantly, and then... I feel like they kind of have to take this and try to play, but with Sounder, they don't want to risk it. Like, both Rahel and Poolbay are full health.
Well, it's also a poke composition, and their front line is trying to deal with the Jax. Because I just don't think Lucid and Thumb can't really keep them busy enough for long enough for Rahel and
I don't know. With
Poolbay to do enough.
With full health and killer instinct available, maybe they could have, but this is very... Like, do you see that stopwatch from Poolbay? That was... If he does that literally half a second later, that was mid-Jax auto animation.
I know, it was dumb.
Really, really clutch there. But the play from Lucid, bit of a force, doesn't end up working out. Nongshim capitalized beautifully. And now we have Fedzeri, an open inhibitor in the bot lane. Maho obviously is almost able to straight up 1v2. Yeah.
Man, I'm like, if there's a playoffs MVP vote, it's Mihail. Like, but actually, it's also Call Me and Sounder. They've also been playing extraordinarily well.
Really good.
It's crazy that Nongshim just seem to come together at the end of summer. It doesn't matter what the roster is. This organization just seems to get good.
Even last year in spring, like they weren't expected to make it to finals at all. It was DRX. DRX were the promised team, a team so good that some. Oh, you got one?
Yeah, I got one. I got one.
You know, a team so good that some challengers casters might have said better than the best EU teams. You know, that's how good last year they were. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Can you imagine?
No, I can't. I'm not an imagining kind of guy. That was a nice fadeaway there from Sounder. May not necessarily be enough. Actually, he's deciding that he wants to go back in because this tower is on half a health. Yundo, if you could just pop down and see the very... No, there we go. Sounder breathed on it. Now Thanatos looking for an angle. The flash does come out, and that's a very dead Sejuani.
Jax, though, oh, he's not letting go.
No, he is just he's just pushing to an inhibitor. He
doesn't have that much vision, so he has
may
to
not
respect.
actually want to take it as well. They might want to still be able to farm lanes and stuff like
I think you always take it, because then you can just go to the other lane as Jax, and then you have 2 side lane pressure instead of 1.
Yeah, true.
I definitely think that he just played, which is fair, played respectful, because they had some vision, but they could path towards him and him not knowing. And if he dies as well, that is a lot of pressure gone. That means that a lot of gold goes into what I assume would be Rahel or Poolbay. Well, Rahel, by the way, is definitely obscenely strong, but I think once you lose control with this composition, actually getting the poke that you need is so hard. And look at the itemization as well. Vital.
Do they have the consistent damage to kill Vital through more and Bloodthirster?
Should still be able to if you can get some damage down at the beginning.
If Rahel stays out of CC,
yeah,
I think you probably can. But the Zeri moment that we might be in for could be a very frightening one. I'm a little bit worried about it.
Yeah. As I wonder, I think Nongshim is in the prime position to take this game, but the one thing they do really need to respect is the D+ skirmish, right? Take out a single target, get yourself a dragon, and kind of go from there, as Thanatos will be met soon, as Sanda is going to get spotted here as well.
Yeah, just trying to clear out vision, making sure that they have an avenue to get between these 2 lanes. Absolutely what you want to be doing in this 4-1 scenario. Keep your options open as to which lanes you can shove. And even without Baron, they are pushing very aggressively as Lucid does decide to go in onto Sounder here. He is going to be able to get himself out, and the Ignite is ticking as Double H almost just gets murdered. My goodness, it's very dangerous times as Thanatos trying to push Mihail away.
Well,
he wants to try and kill the inhibitor before he leaves, and he does do so, and Thanatos going to pick him up with a Q. And now Nongshim with Baron up in a minute and a half. They will be all right, but that will stop the push for a little bit.
That's good. That's a good death, though. You 100% take that, because there is no objective on the map right now. If this happens a minute later,
yeah.
D+ get Soul Point, they get Nash, and they're able to substantially counter push. Instead, a lot of resources get invested. They do pick up Mihail. Sounda almost dies, but no objective will be regained. The only thing that really D+ get out of this is a renewed sense of map control. As Lucid?
Huh.
Is he just dead?
He might just be dead. I'm not sure what he was really considering.
I don't know. I think he was threatening, but the vision control was actually really good from Nongshim. And Lucid hasn't looked too impressive here on the Maokai.
He never really does.
He never has.
It's not really his. He's not a facilitator. He's an assassin.
I think his Rel was exceptional, but Rel is different in that I think that your impact you can have in team fights is very different from Maokai. Maokai really does feel like I am facilitative champion number 1.
And I am set up here in Brush.
Yes.
And I will. He's a I don't want action champion. And Nongshim looking for an angle here as Glacial Prison is going to connect onto Thanatos. Let's see whether he can do some Cassante things here as he dives into the backline. There's an all-out onto Double H, who is just going to Magnet Storm the Cassante. Mihail now diving in. Thumb gets bonked on the noggin, and a Nature's Grass flies through and does basically nothing here. Rahel has to cleanse to get himself out of the way, and now the poke is following up. Minion Wave gets in the way of that Void Seeker. As Nongshim, there's 5 seconds on the Soul. There is also the Baron that is now up and available.
Oh, health bars are low.
Yeah, but I just don't think they're going to be able to get over there.
To have it.
And Thumb is dead. So Nongshim, they're not going to want to give up a Baron.
The positioning is in favor of D+, though, and they have so much poke.
I would have thought that they'd just head over and try and grab themselves a Drake, though, in the meantime.
Thumb is going to be alive.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a worry. Mihail is going to head on over and look to take this dragon.
They want to force him peeling off right now.
Well, Nongshim know exactly what's going on. They could just go for this one. I think
have
getting the Soul
right now
is definitely good. And so in they go. There's the Emperor's Divide. It lands immediately onto Rahel. He is going to be able to get himself out with the Killer Instinct and the flashes. The Azir is once again going to go down. And there is the Soul, like you say, Chronicler. But they take down the Rel. They grab the Azir. And now it's just Vital against the world. Mihail moving in as well. But the poke is raining down. So D+, they'll collect the Baron in trade for the Soul.
Oh, and I don't know, D+, they have a window now where they get to use the full power of this Baron to try and end the game outside of the value that Nongshim gained. Definitely going to be bigger. I love the call here from D+, and I think that actually they could have gone even harder. This shove from Calmy ends up forcing out a lot here, but Rahel does stay alive crucially. And because of the fact that Jax isn't here, the fight is very favorable for D+, even without Fun being there. They get the Nash, but again, Soul doesn't go anywhere. Nongshim have an incredible amount of damage threats, and if you thought Jax was a problem before, it's only going to get worse. But while this Baron buff is up, D+ can do the one thing that they want, which is Siege. Try and maintain control. Maybe we're just barreling towards an Elder Flip, I guess.
Could
Maybe
just
that's
be.
what's happening.
It could just be. We'll see whether Nongshim can play around it, because that is where things start to get a little bit dangerous. Because like you were talking about before, like we've been saying this whole time, compositions like this from D+ are very, very good when you get to dictate the terms. And Glacial Prison going to fly down. Nongshim just starting off the fight. Lucid taking a lot of damage. And there's the Nature's Grasp. They take down the Sejuani, and there is no trade from Nongshim right now. Poolbay looking to move in. Mihail still on that top side, wanting to threaten where he can. Sundisk is down, and Nongshim, they lose their jungler, but they should be okay for the moment. Mihail is just absolute. Look at that. That was like most of the turret in one hit. One little bonk. As he's going to leap strike towards Thanatos again. And this guy is unanswerable by one person. You need the whole gang if you want to kill this Jax, who's looking to take his second inhibitor. There it goes. Thumb going to move in. Definitely not going to be scared of that one. As D+ going to push the only lane that they can.
That's Maul. That's a lot of poke going down, but if they can't catch Mihail, I think things are looking good here. He is trying to dodge away. Lucid does not have his ultimate, does find him. Can they actually take him down?
Gets the Bramble
Rahel
Smash.
doesn't have ult.
Mihail just doing his very best to try and fight where he can. Can he get to a leap strike over this wall is going to be the question, and the answer is he wants to kill Lucid. I guess, as he's just going to flash leap strike, he'll be fine.
No biggie.
Yeah, no, I guess it was just that easy.
Mihail's not impressed. I know we're gonna. If Nongshim win, and I think it's definitely a possibility, we're voting 100% for that man in the top lane.
Mihail. Oh yeah.
As we do see here is a why the Killer Instinct wasn't available, and I guess AJ's lives. No, he doesn't.
He definitely
He definitely does not. I was like, wait, did he live? I didn't notice Rel died, but he died. Yeah, he got mega boomed.
Yeah, this game right now, from this post 40 minutes stage, as it's a really nice Baron power play actually, as we do see the DK have about a 3,000 gold lead now. But this game is now D+ versus Mihail.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how that one goes. And he's now pushing towards this bottom lane. We'll see how much of the gang is going to be employed to trying to stop this guy, who now doesn't have his stopwatch anymore.
They're still under poke. That's the problem. So yeah. I like Nongshim. The more aggressive you play, the better. Try and put as much pressure as you can. As it is good poke, landing here for Poolbay.
Yeah, and it's no crown on Call Me either. He's like, well, if you're going to poke, then I'll just take it. I'll do as much damage in a team fight as I possibly can. There's Thumb looking to move down towards his bottom side. Nice little counter strike there from Mihail on the back end, just to annoy Thanatos for a moment. Vital going to have to skate his way out of this one. And if he does find some things to attack, then the Bloodthirster is certainly going to help him keep that health bar as high as he can. It's still pretty dicey. And Elder is up in just under 2 minutes. The Baron pretty synced with it as well. As Glacial Prison goes wide, Sounder showing some nerves, showing some cracks here in game one. Hasn't found all of the ultimates this time, as Mihail is just able to just attack. Yeah, well, we'll see whether he can find another counter-strike. He does, but it's not going to be enough. And they do manage to take out the Jax. He gets another inhib, though. So 2 inhibs down. Is that going to be enough to be able to let them fight?
Again, the timing from these deaths from Mihail are like unironically really good. Giving your life for an inhib at this point, 100% worth it. Because you are setting up for Elder and Baron double whammy in about a minute. He will be there. Can just teleport in, or, which is what I hope he will do, is just teleport to side while the rest of D+ is trying to fight. As Rahel is definitely way overcapped on money.
He has a lot of money.
What is he going to end up getting?
Did he just sell? What did he sell?
Shiv.
He sold Shiv.
Yeah, I think
Zhonya's.
a good call. Definitely allows you to play very aggressive. Don't mind that one bit. Thumb also has the redemption available. Does mean that his wave kind of sucks.
Yeah, and I actually thought, like, anyway, Thumb is going to be able to battle dance away, but no flash available anymore. And Vital does get the red buff. And so does Sounder. Feels like a double steal these days when you secure your own buffs.
Way through Kai'Sa. Prio needs to be maintained there, but you see Mao on the side lane. D+, I think you have to try and force, and then maybe you can backpedal, right? Because you so desperately need to force the teleport for Mao. If he is teleported in the side lane,
oh my god.
Yeah, you just have to pull the trigger right now. Look at the wave position. Mahao can't actually end right now. The rest of Nongshim are going to have to try and stall. The poke's landing. Just start us up. D+, you don't have time.
Well, landing some poke onto Double H. Definitely good news is vital. Taking a bit of damage. The Gromp is going to get that health bar back up to full.
Mahao has now.
Yeah, Sounder looking to make his way in. There's the teleport. Baron. Sorry, Elder is down to about 6k as Mihail gets the flash out of Pool Bay. And now we're flipping for it. It's secured by Nongshim. The doubles come down for the Zeri already. And I don't think we need certification. I think this one's done and dusted. Triple kill comes in. And Mihail is going to bring down the dragon on top of his opposite number. That should be the ace, and that will be game number 1 going to Nongshim. But what a barn burner it was. Here in our first one in our upper bracket finals.
Wonderful first game here, 43 minutes. D+ sure loves making us go the distance in a game number 1, and I'm gonna 2x it. I'm not even.
Oh yeah, just 2x.
Oh, you know we're 2xing that Mahal vote.
I'm waiting for the media Zeris, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not in my challenges.
Outside of I think Lucid, who had a rough game. This. I love this game. This was actually awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Very close. Ends up being decided by just the one fight, as we do see the teleport here is a little bit late, and then Poolbay has to flash out so they can just hard focus Lucid, who again doesn't actually have Aftershock, and at this point is kind of a walking word anyway, with how much Shred is available on the enemy team. And Nongshim do a great job, not afraid to flip the trigger there once the teleport comes in. And I think a very deserved win here, but D+ made them work for it. And if this is an indication of how this series is going to go,
I'm actually just like sitting here kind of just amazed with how well Nongshim played it out. You can see like that was almost 50k damage done by Rahel in that game, but the mitigation of the value of the poke was just beautifully done by Nongshim playing around split push.
And Miles not getting Jackson.
I would assume that is, and especially not on red side.
No, I think we ban it against him. I think it has to go.
Yeah,
it has to leave because he was incredible. And what is again, and I'm gonna give all the credit to the Nongshim coach and stuff, man, because I don't know most of the guys, but I've of course seen them last year, right? We've seen them this year, just walking around at challengers. How they are able to get an academy team, which, you know, after a year, they're challengers now, but I think the first year you get some leeway to actually play well around split push. It wasn't perfect. You know, there were a couple of opportunities where they probably could have stalled and like faked and have Mahal like draw even a little bit more pressure. But this level of awareness around how to split push from a team this young, hats off. I think it's awesome to see.
It's just really beautiful coordinated play. They knew what to do, when to do it, how to play around the win conditions of their composition whilst also mitigating the win conditions of their opposition. And we've seen that is very difficult to do even for the very top teams in, you know, of any region, right? So I'm just very impressed by the navigation of that one. And I love it when League of Legends is a team really getting what they're trying to do with the tools that they've got.
Yes.
Ismail gets a very
Delta Tower.
Delta Tower. I prefer Delta Structure, but I guess Delta Tower is going to be okay here. 15.4 thousand damage. Not too bad at all. A whole bunch of farm as well, and even just kind of did a lot of damage to Thanatos over and over again in that lane, who did kind of get punished.
Yeah, DPM, CS, none of this matters.
No,
the only thing that matters is that top column. Delta Tower.
His CC score was 24/7, baby. He was always CC. That is called always CC.
Perma CC.
Perma CC 24/7. 365.
I love it when it feels like a team wins, not because the other team messed up, but because they earned their win. And this really felt like, I felt D+ did a great job, but Nongshim was the better team in game 1, actively used their 1-for-win condition very, very cleanly. You love to see it, and I can only hope, because we both went with a 3-2 prediction, that we're actually getting there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried though because of what we were talking about at the beginning of this game, which was the fact that Jace Maokai has been top of the priority list. And if you get handed a draft like that and you can't deliver...
Atlas, we literally casted this Monday
a
D+ that went down to 10 reverse sweat.
That is very true. We'll see whether they can do it again. We are going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen, but then we'll be back with the second game of the series. G'day everyone and welcome back to LCK Challenger 2023 Summer Playoffs. I'm Atlas, I'm joined by Chronicler and some glorious artwork here as we challenge to the top for this cup right here. Man, think about how much Nongshim Ramyun you could have in that cup. An extraordinary amount.
Too much.
Is there such thing?
Yeah, the human body is not built to withstand that much ramen.
You should tell all of the Koreans.
I am aware. Yeah, it's one of the main reasons why I'm looking forward to Worlds in Korea. It means that the Koreans don't have to designate 5 suitcases. And you might think I'm exaggerating, and maybe a little, but not by a lot. I'm pretty sure there is a sizable number of suitcases that are exclusively filled with ramyun.
Yeah,
whenever they go to an international tournament.
Have you not seen an airport after you arrive somewhere from Korea? Yeah.
Just eating that.
Just all the time.
Sweet ramyun.
Actually, all the time. The amount of older ladies that have just suitcases full of kimchi that you definitely cannot bring to other countries.
You have to read that.
I will definitely read it. The year is 2046. Huni is doing what he loves, teaching top lane league at Oxford University. A promising student comes up to Dr. Huni with a smile on his face, having just completed his college thesis. He turns the front page towards Professor Dr. Huni. On the front page it says, 2023 Challengers Playoffs, Nongshim Mahal. Huni nods in approval.
I love it.
Look, I think that if that's what you're writing your thesis on in top lane school, 100%. It's top marks. It's 100% top marks.
I love how it says Mihile.
Mihile.
Milihe.
Milihe.
And now, has Digon also... Why is
Why
Dagon
is Dagon here?
Because he's enjoying some of the best
why
League of
wouldn't
Legends
Dagon be here?
that the world has to offer.
Man.
And maybe he's doing some scouting for whoever comes to the LCS
Maybe he's looking
next
for
year.
some content, you know, for the podcast. I can completely understand.
Are you looking for the new IMT top laner? T1 Chronicler, I will ban you. we are not
how
messing
does one
around.
man ban himself?
Well, I'll give it a go.
I don't
I
quite
will
understand.
try.
Bro Waiting Room 2024 Giga Chat, 100%. Don't you worry. They'll be back, and they'll be back with a vengeance. To lose some more, but still be Giga Chat. It does not matter. The best thing about that team is that you know exactly what you're going to get, and you know it's going to be good.
As the fan signs coming out strong here. Today, some D+ fans. And did D+ complete a reverse sweep? Yes. But they did need an Elder Soul explosion to steal a Baron. And they also did require Humble Life to go a little bit booming. And D+ are very quickly becoming like, this team is so hard to rate. Because I see a game like this, I'm like, they're definitely good enough. But also, I feel like in situations like this especially, the lack of Bible is felt
Oh, yeah.
so much. And I actually think that FUM, at least in that first game, deserved none of the blame. Like, FUM actually really cleaned it up compared to what was, as pointed out, I think he had 1 good game out of 5 in the previous series.
Yeah, no, he did.
Today, looking a decent amount better, as we are going to have adaptations, so no runbacks. They've learned from Monday.
They have indeed. So the Kai'Sa is going to be
something.
banned away. There is at least going to be a change. There is the Jax ban, as we were
change,
expecting. And now Nongshim. We'll see what they do take away here. The Ahri going to be taken off the board instead of the Nocturne. So an interesting adaptation here. Obviously with a different thought in mind. So D+, see what they ban away, because there are a lot of like 1-2 punches on red that you could go for here, right? Like Nico
Xayah?
Nocturne is available. You've got Sejuani first pick. You've got Maokai first pick. There are a lot of things, and the Nico is going to come through.
That.
I love it with the Ahri ban. The
Yes.
response to the... Because,
So-
like, there's not as many mid laners that are as good with the Nocturne.
It also, yeah, exactly, and it also means that Nongshim now are going to feel incentivized to go towards the Nocturne. And Nocturne is still a really strong champion, don't get me wrong, but I do think that it's specifically this combo that you want to deny, but it also kind of pigeonholes your draft into playing a specific style, because if you don't play one through on or dive, I do think Nocturne loses a lot of value.
Yeah.
And it is going to be the Xayah here going over to Vital. Definitely a champion he knows how to play very well.
Yep, was banned in the second round last time.
I'm like thinking, what could you do here as D+? Because again, we know that Xayah has really struggled into a couple of specific matchups. Love this though. We didn't talk about HH that much, but if you go back to a lot of those fights, the combination of Sounda Sedge plus the Rel was kind of disgusting. And that was through a Maokai ultimate as well.
So now,
It's gotta
D+.
be Nocturne, right?
I would assume that it's Nocturne, and I think that Nocturne really is a great champion for Lucid to try and get back on the horse with.
Oh, yeah.
You know? The Ophelio is going to be considered first and locked away. So Rahel, I mean, this was their ace in the hole. Game 3, Rahel picked up POG in that one. He looked absolutely amazing on this champion. You know, I could speak till the cows come home about how Aphelios is not the champion that he used to be, but in certain spots has been able to work out. Let's see where Poolbay goes, because we've seen a lot of Aphelios just picked alongside Lulu. That's not going to happen this time, as Renekton will be locked in. And so no Nocturne even on the cards here. And so Nongshim can choose whatever they would like to be paired alongside the Rel in the jungle, or they could just grab... I'd just get Rakan. Because I think, like,
I like
not
that
having
a
the
lot.
flex Rel, I think
Yeah.
Rakan just makes a lot of sense. You can have the Lovers Duo there for the bottom side of the map, and then you ban, like, what, Nocturne Lulu or something like that?
And yeah, the Renekton very whelmed about that, as we always have been. Now, maybe this will get you a Sejuani ban. My real question is, does Lucid play Nico? Because if he does, then you can end up going, because I wouldn't be surprised if Kami ends up defaulting to Azir again. And oh, never mind, the ban Azir. I'm like, maybe you want to set up like a Xerath trap, because Xerath into Xayah, Azir feels amazing. It doesn't look like that is actually going to be the case, as the Poppy does get taken off the board. Was banned last time by D+ in their first rotation, but obviously made some space. The support matchup also going to be really important here. I personally would absolutely love if we see something that actually can deal with the Rakan, but there's not that much that does well into it outside of Lulu.
I was going to say, like, I don't know why Lulu wasn't banned here.
Because I think that if you do pick Lulu, it is really good for lane, but your composition becomes really awkward.
You don't have a lot of engage. That is very true.
Yeah, particularly
this is one of
if,
Colmey's best champions.
This Nongshim draft, I'm kind of loving it. I did like the Talia a whole lot more.
Yes.
See, Syndra obviously does have a decent amount of value. As
it's Mahile.
It's his
Mahile.
time.
You know, it's Mahile. He wants to play his Cassante. We'll let him play his Cassante. It's a Shuriman battle towards the top lane. One that we've seen a billion times. And no eyebrows being raised here. So, counterpick going to be given over to Colmey.
And what does D+ lock in here? Yeah, Alistair, really good pick. Not necessarily going to be mind-blowing into Rakan specifically, but it deals with the Rel well. And Nongshim is going to be pretty low on damage. The CC, though, that they provide is kind of revolting. What will Lucid end up picking here? You can go for something like a Lee, try and really get the most out of your early pressure. Viego also fine.
Nocturne would be fine
get
too.
Get him on a carry. Yeah, Nocturne I think is really good, but I do think that playing Nocturne into a team that is either pure disengage or anti-dive or tank is kind of miserable. As the Jace, I know that Jace in theory is good into Nico, we just haven't seen it work out that much. It makes sense, right? You're really good in the long trades, you can try and poke Nico if you can steer clear of her roots and bloom combo, and you actually get to knock her away.
You just won't do any damage in the late game because you're full physical and you're building lethality.
Yeah. And
but they don't have any true tanks, right? Like Renekton is going to be building bruisery items. You don't necessarily fit massive amounts of armor into that build.
Just go Death Stance Thanatos. It's going to be worth it. I'm not even kidding. He's
Yeah.
not, but this is like, if I've ever seen a Death Dance game, this is it.
Yep, that's the one. Jace does have the ability to knock Nico out of her Pop Blossom, which is definitely useful.
Yeah, you can knock her, because it still goes off, but you knock her away so her team doesn't get completely hammered, because it's Jace doing the hammering.
Yeah.
And I like the Nongshim draft, though. I think that they again have a draft that has an incredible amount of both offensive and defensive power. But the full AD, I think late game is actually going to be a problem once D+ gets to itemize. And the snowball, again, is, I think, very much in D+ their favor.
I would agree, and it's another 2-threat comp, and not a lot of range from the bottom side of the map for Nongshim. But Vital did show his mastery on the Zeri last time around. I do think that as far as cleanliness of draft, it's not the same this time for Nongshim. I think that it will take a little bit more brute force. You're not going to have Mahile in a side lane putting on the same amount of threat that he was in the last game. I think they're going to be relying on winning some skirmishes in the early stages of the game. I think they want to start the snowball rolling if they want to stand a chance in this one. Very interestingly navigated in this draft, but I think this one points towards D+ a whole lot more than the previous one in my mind. We'll just have to see, and we'll also have to see what kind of do-do-do Atlas goes with this time. I just went with the standard one.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to. I didn't
It
want
did have
to.
a silly expression, though.
I had a silly expression on my face. It did not affect the do-do-do-do.
It did not.
I just didn't want to freak people out in chat. Kind of like last time. You know. But let's see exactly how this one goes. Because, yeah, like we were talking about, like, I think that the power of Rel Rakan is going to be massive in this game. I'm very much looking forward to what Double H and Vital can achieve as well on the bottom side of the map, just because you're not going to have a lot of lane strength as the Alistair, and so most of this early lane phase is just going to be Rahel trying to keep them at arm's length, utilizing Calibrum range and things like that to make things happen. But very interesting. So Pulbait transforming into the AD carry as per usual. Gets those cleaner auto attack animations. Is your like? How does Aphelios work? Because doesn't his model change depending on which gun you have?
Yeah.
How,
So
how do you know which gun you've got?
I think just the ones that Aphelios has at that moment.
There's not like a default gun that you get?
Because right now he's what, holding now he's holding Severin. Maybe it's just
yeah. So maybe it's
So
just
it's just the
exactly
one
what he's holding
at that time
when you transform. That's cool. I kind of expected there just to be a default gun that he would have.
I feel like Severin is definitely worse though because the range is so short.
Yeah, right? I think that like Aphelios is one of these champions where it's like you feel bad when you actually have to change. And it's like you have to stay in comms. It's like, switch to Calibrum, I want a last hit.
Yeah, if Thanatos is a Giga Chat, which I hope, you just go Gore Drinker Tabis into Death Stance, and you will actually be unkillable until Vital hits like 3 or 4 items. Like you're never gonna die.
Yeah.
You will be completely an immovable object. I don't think that's what's gonna happen because Death Stance into Cassandra obviously feels very underwhelming as Rahel showcases his great mastery of the champion. But again, the win rates for a lot of champions will be very high for D+ because they did a whole lot of winning. So those are a little bit of a, I want to say,
2 of these
what do you call it?
were, I mean, a grain of salt. Just grab a grain of salt.
No, I wanted to go for the,
Misleading?
yeah, no, but you have the free stage of a magic trick. Remember from the Prestige?
Oh,
so you
yeah.
have the, what's the first stage called? The final one is the Prestige, I know that. I think
Yeah,
the
I
second
don't
one
know.
is the turn.
Yeah, I think that might be the turn. So maybe it's the flop, the turn, the river,
Okay, well no, that's
and
poker.
then the prestige.
That's that's like
That's how it works, right?
No,
No,
I
that's.
don't
I think
I
that's.
don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a nice little 2-man poll. Thumb getting a deal that he may not have necessarily wanted, as the yeah, the Blade Caller going to work out quite nicely. Sounder in position here as well as Lucid. Thinking about popping over that wall, does get the Scar Award, absolutely nails it as well. You love to see that. Vital grabbing a little bit of poke damage with a little bit of a QE combo. As Sounder now looking for a back once again.
Fun ain't afraid. I think it should be though.
Yeah, I was going to say a bit of fear can sometimes be a good thing, as Sounder is just making sure that his bottom lane is going to be safe. Love that ward here for Nongshim in this bottom brush. Will know whether Lucid is slunk over. Just staying barely out of vision, is now going to remain. And look at Sounder, he flashes forward. They find the knockups, and that is first blood to Vital again. Lucid now having to run away here as Rahel doing his very best to survive. Gravitum Infernum not helping out so much at this stage of the game. And Nongshim once again with first blood.
Ooh, and if Fum has flash, I think that's playable, but it feels like they knew that Sounder was still there, but they weren't ready for the combo. And if Fum can get a Pulverize off, I think they can outplay that, but because HH, I think, went in first and actually got the grand entrance, there was a full CC chain. So there was no ability for Fum. Let's look back at it again, because I'm 100% sure that they know Sounder might still be there. Because you do see them path towards it, but no, it is actually the flash Q that throws him off, because if Sounder opens with Crash down there and you Pulverize, then you can maybe cancel it and get a lot of damage down, but instead it backfires. Was a very risky play, doesn't end up working out, and Nongshim very, very confident in their early setup around this 3v3. Get themselves an early lead onto Vital.
Yeah, that's the dangerous
Thanatos
spot.
will still eat Sounder though. Look at the smite, but Thanatos will get some money for his troubles.
Pretty happy about that one. So the Krug does go towards Sounder, so there's at least that. Still, behind a camp and a half here compared to Lucid, as Mihail moving back towards the top lane. Call Me still hasn't teleported, so
Like, why isn't he
not
using
feeling
his gravity?
absolutely terrible.
Use the gravity.
Yeah, what's happening, man? Pop Blossom right on the edge. Call Me has to flash. And Poolbay getting some control here in this mid lane. Really nicely done, and Call Me still sticking around. Should be somewhat safe, especially with Sounder in the area, but this is looking dicey. Sounder just coming over to make sure that Call Me can collect all of these minions unscathed. And that's a flash forward, just looks for Call Me and kills him! Oh no, Call Me greeting for that wave.
And even with Sounder there, Poolbay's like, no, I'm a flashing for this.
Oh, 100%.
Full confidence, new, and he even gets to shove in the wave, and he gets the TP back.
Yeah,
Poolbay,
this is
that's That's a mid diff, you're right. And this is, I really think this is the perfect showcase of Calm after an incredible Azir game, because this happened against DRX as well.
Yep. Also, a perfect example of pull bait. This is one where he's on. As
It does have
Colmy
TP,
is moving
but
down to
he
look to
can't
guarantee
TP in.
this one, and
Yeah.
will be able to.
If they have Nico ult, they 100% just have pull bait, like TP into the pit, and then try and outplay
Whoa,
it. But
you get to have Unleashed Teleport that early?
you don't. Never mind, I'm a dummy. Thanks, Atlas. As yeah, pull bait, really nice job here. The fact that they reverted it to like 10 minutes really is throwing me off. And we do see that the early Drake goes to no-shot again. The early objective control has been very, very good.
So, somewhat even with the fact that, you know, the bottom lane is going better than expected for Vital, and they get the Drake. But D+, getting pull bay ahead is absolutely
they
massive.
don't know.
As, yeah, Double H going to get caught out of position. He's booped back, and that is a swift one for Lucid. One thing also that we haven't really mentioned and spoken enough about is the fact that Lucid's now on a carry.
Oh yeah, no, we mentioned it once in draft, but it should be talked about a lot more because it is probably one of the most important things for D+. This really is, in many ways, similar to the Canyon issue, where I think Lucid rather is definitely a little bit better on tanks than Canyon has shown to be, but it's still uncomparable to what this man can do when he has damage and agency in a fight. As we do see Pull Bay, he's applying so much pressure and absorbing here in mid.
Yeah, able to hold waves as well, deny farm. As Double H was just looking for some harass, I guess.
I really like this as well. Yeah, the 2v2 they definitely have been winning. I really like this because you start off with the W as opposed to Alistair going in. HH has 0 time to respond, right? Because if you try to set that up with like Flash Pulverize from FUM, then there's a possibility that HH actually is ready for it. Knowing to expect a target really can give you an insane edge when it comes to reaction speed. Yeah, Thanatos is... He did not enjoy last game. And this just kind of makes me go, why do we keep picking Cassante?
Yeah, yeah.
And I know Miles is a good Cassante, but he went Demolish as well.
Yeah, Mahal was looking for an all-out angle. Kind of feel it there as Blade Call, a lot of value. There's the Featherstorm. Trades it for a flash. You'll be feeling good if you're Vital about that one. Red-white guns are in here for Rahel.
Ghost use as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a battle
Big win.
between Thumb and Double H, but yeah, absolutely. 2 summoner spells in trade for an ultimate.
As Pull Bay.
All right, Pull Bay in trouble. There's a Magnet Storm. Pop Blossom collects both of them, but I don't know whether Pull Bay's escaping this one. Yeah, Colmy just goes into shooty shoot form and will be able to take him down. So a bit of revenge here for the Jason mid.
Sound has been so impressive these last 2 games. Sejuani in the previous one, Rel in this one. Really
I think the last
making
6 games. I think the last playoff match was absolutely amazing from Sounder.
Yeah. Just been very consistent, right? Able to get the setup here as Pull Bay again gets flash queued then into the Crash Down Magnet Storm combo. More than enough damage here. And if he has flash, then maybe he lives. He does not. Just ends up getting blown up, and that is some much needed relief and a kill for Calmy here. Really big win there for the mid lane of Nongchen. They're still behind, but not going to be feeling nearly as bad as they did before.
Yeah, and it's an awkward conversation when it comes to things like scaling. How are you sort of feeling these 2 compositions will operate?
I do think if Thanatos itemizes well and actually stacks armor, that eventually only Vital will be able to kill him. And if Vital is like has his hands full, there isn't a Aphelios on the enemy team.
Yeah.
So I do really favor the D+ composition, which is weird because I don't think that the Nongshim composition is bad by any means, but just in how it matches up to each other. I think the mid game for Nongshim composition is insane though. Like the amount of beefiness that you have when the shredding items are not yet available, right? When you don't have all this armor shred, when you don't have Rael sitting on accelerated items deep into the game, I do think you have a lot of power there. But because they started losing early, and they'll be giving up a bunch of additional plates here as well, and I think also the Dragon, I think D+ will have still a really good gateway towards that late game. And if at any point you misplay and like Lucid starts resetting, and Calmy or Vital dies at the beginning of a fight, you are super screwed.
I would agree. And I think that, yeah, these fights are going to snowball one direction or the other pretty quickly. And I think if Nongshim don't just kill Lucid outright,
yeah,
things can get very, very rough.
And the biggest thing as well is that this time it's D+ with the triple threat comp. This is especially for in a draft like this, I think Renekton, oh wow, Thanatos is not afraid. 100% can like 1v4. If you get into a situation where like Calmy has no cooldowns and Vital is out of the fight, like Renekton actually just booms everyone.
Ooh, got a quickness.
That's
diving
big.
in on top of Rahel. Remember, doesn't have any summoners and he's just dead. D+ now going to move down to try and defend as the Pop Blossom's flying forward. Sounder is going to go down very low, finds himself some stuns as the Drake is being kept busy here by the Renekton. Thanatos actually coming down towards the river with his teleport being employed. They'll even out the dragons by collecting that Cloud Drake, and then a Mountain Soul is on the cards as well. If D+ get a couple of these, then I think it's just game over.
Oh, it's so done. Trying to play a full AD composition into a Mountain Soul, that's not playable. I do think on the flip side, for D+ is kind of similar in that the only one that will really be dealing damage if you stack a bunch of Mountain Souls with, again, Rel and Cassante is Rahel, right? Like no one else really will be able to chew through frontlines ads. This is just a really nicely set up HH, gets the initial setup, and then if there is no Sounda, who actually does get zoned away by Thumb, then Thumb can keep Vital away, and then, you know, Rahel lives. So I think that's credit to Sounda, really nice position there around the curve. Also a mistake from Rahel, especially without Flash Combi that far up, but it doesn't end up costing his team too much, but it does give an extra kill to Vital, who is now getting further and further ahead.
Yeah, he's close to 20 CS up, about 18 right now. And that is a large reason why the gold number is about 500 as opposed to something much larger. So definitely good news for Nongshim down there. That's where the good news stops, mid lane, even on farm, but Poolbay is definitely ahead. As Thanatos get out of there, he's just being annoying by the looks of things. Thornmail completed here by Mihail. Very disappointed that he has jumped on that hype train. I would have loved to see some Sunfire Capes this game, especially with the lack of magic damage, as Double H.
Yeah, just misclick. Wanted to ward. Instead, used his stopwatch. Very sad.
I sometimes want to go and have a look at something, and I instead take my watch off and slam it on the ground.
So he stopped. That was from the rune as well. I take it. So that's, and then he sold it.
Oh,
that's really unfortunate. Unfortunate mistake. Not going to be the end of the game, but there's definitely can sting, as you see the ward spotting him out there.
Yep. Call me. Just shoving this one forward. Vital moving on over to clear out some vision himself. And Thumb going to be spotted. We'll see whether, yeah, Double H this time, absolutely nailing it, gets that trinket. Sounder moving down towards the bottom lane, trying to set up for something here onto Poolbay. Trying to find too many opportunities, and Lucid will be able to come over and collect himself the Rift Herald. Shirley going to be on the map pretty soon, as Poolbay just getting some damage down onto the Rel, who clears out the ward. Vital being a little bit annoying here, as Poolbay realizes that the Blade Caller is now on cooldown. Double H moving on over, as there is a Gravitum available. There's a Grand Entrance onto Thanatos. A lot of feathers being pulled back, and no Dominus now available, as Sounder now moving in. There's the flash out from Rahel, and as soon as those summoner spells came back up again, they are down.
Yeah, flash for flash, but Sounder's going to take the trade anytime, because Rakan still as is, so really big win there for Nongshim, I'd say, even with them losing the Herald. The only downside, and what I hope D+ is able to do for them, is that they are able to then turn this Herald into a Drake. Because we do start the Dragons, I think that it is a trade that's worth, even with the flash going and getting forced there by Sounda. But really like the little pivot. Thanatos there, I think, a big instigator as to why that play ended up kind of backfiring, because he walked up and had the Dominus, and that kind of delayed Lucid and Rahel as well, which ended up giving Sounda the time to rotate back over. As we do get the tempo backs here, 1 minute 15 on the objectives. There is a lot of vision control. Again, I think that's one of the one field where Nongshim have been straight up better the entire series, the way that they have been able to consistently get vision here And look as well, like Sandra, right, sitting on 2 control wards, Mahal buying control wards, even Vital buying control wards. But it's something that, particularly against things like Viego that won't be going towards the Umbroglaive, actually ends up really working out. Because if it's an Umbroglaive jungler, I think that those type of vision investments can really backfire, but not going to be the case here.
Not so much. Shoutouts to Skynet in the chat for just zapping people.
Oh, he's zapping people?
Yeah, just
Nice.
remember that sometimes Skynet gonna get you.
Just don't be mean.
Yeah, don't be mean.
It's not that hard.
You know, if you're losing money, it's your money to lose. Keep it to yourself. You know? As Lucid coming on over, does throw out a stab. Double H going to be fine. As Sounder just looking for pull bait here. Shock Blast is decent. Right on the edge. Gets the flash out from the mid laner as Thanatos now behind the turret. That teleport might have been an over-investment, but there is a Drake coming up in 5 seconds time. They may sacrifice a turret for it though, as never mind. Teleport to come forward from both Thanatos and Poolbay on either sides of the pit. Rift Herald going to come through here as well, as Poolbay looking for an opportunity. Throwing out his shape split version, as now Sounder kind of on his own.
I think you have to let this one go, Nongshim.
Yeah, it looks like they're not
cooldowns available, no Magnet Storm.
We do have the quickness, and I think Double H is actually pretty threatening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Against Rahel with no summoner spells. That is very dangerous. As Mahal going aggressive, Double H just waiting in the fog of war. Lucid dashes towards him as now Call Me, can you find some shock blasts? Finds Rahel actually in that backline. That was actually a pretty impressive one. Yeah, Thanatos fighting Mahal. Pop Blossom is going to catch out Double H before he gets over that wall. The Shape Splitter going to get Poolbay out of there, and this poke damage from the Jace starting to add up. And it looks like D+ are the ones that are looking to back away. Headbutt Polv is going to connect there as Double H is going to be taken down. Now Call Me kind of on his own as Thanatos is already dominant. And now Sounder is just going to get locked out of this pit. No flash available. He'll need to try and crash down, but he's not going to be able to. And that is going to be the Drake secured by D+. The war of attrition just kind of won beautifully by the team. As now Sounder is on a little bit of a behind enemy lines mission.
Just execute, man.
Yeah, and Blast Cone and Heartbreaker. That is going to be the response. Sounder gets a whole bunch of his health back, but he'll be dead.
I think you just execute there. They didn't maybe not feeling confident in the timer.
Wasn't quite there.
Yeah, but if you Blast Cone to the left, I think maybe you can and just try to get try to get to the inner. Might have been that one or another because I think there was also flash available, flash and ult you don't really get away from. But it's the fun that ends up being the difference maker. Just HH is so focused on looking forward and trying to find an engage. If you do lock down Rakan, he does die very quickly. And even with Poolbay not really getting too much, as we do have a fight here on the top side. Lucid's there as well.
Yeah, they're trying to get in there. Double H actually just sprinting around. And that is what I believe gets them out of the danger.
Yeah, they're fine. Oh, Thanatos. I know he's going. Death Dance Fur. You can do it. Come on. We'll see. He won't.
I think Black Cleaver is pretty good.
No, yeah.
Got a lot of armor.
I know. He's also facing Cassandra. I knew it was going to happen. But
yeah.
He's going to go Starix for it as well. And Starix is also really good, but Death Stance into a comp like Nongshim's is just...
No, it's
not okay. Yeah, particularly because you're looking for early resets anyway, so you get to cleanse the damage that you take, and it's a full AD composition that doesn't really want to be dealing with you. So once you do get into the enemy backline, any damage you take will be mitigated, and then your Nexon as well. Maybe he'll go 4th, but oh my goodness, Starix at the GA.
We'll see. It might just be GA. Third item GA.
No, he's not that crazy.
No, he shouldn't. He is now underneath the turret here towards the bottom side of the map. D+, moving to about a 3.5k gold lead. And with each of these Mountain Drakes, they start to stack on top of each other. That gold lead's actually much larger than you'd immediately assume. And Nongshim, they're going to have to be the ones that make a play and find an angle here in this game.
D+ are good with the winning mid jungle. I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah, no, it's very strange.
Right? Doesn't that sound familiar?
Feels like we must have dreamt about it or something like that. Or maybe like social conditioning.
Mid jungle, carry jungler that's really good.
Yeah, polar bears. There's something cold. There's a cold vibe.
Where does that come from?
No, I don't know. You wouldn't catch me knowing things. That's not
your job.
Not my MO.
It's not your job, man.
No, it's not.
You don't have to.
It's not what I'm about. I had to explain to Cherry on our road trip to the beach the other day, like the difference between what you do and what I do. And I basically just said, I have no brain and yell a lot, and he has big brain and doesn't yell as much.
Very accurate.
That's basically how I explained it.
We try to blur the lines, but that is, I think, still at large.
Yeah, the Atlanalist just doesn't roll off the tongue, you know? The Valdanalist, a different story.
I mean, Valdez is truly in a league of his own in many ways.
He is indeed. Especially when it comes to purging the unworthy.
Oh, he is wonderful. Yeah. In so many ways, there's also a lot of similarities. You know, the number of cats.
Yeah.
How awesome the cats are.
Yeah. Oh, there's no comparisоning.
No, that's my point. I'm not gonna ruin one friendship one way or another by saying that one person's cats are better than the other. I'm not crazy.
I am a little bit worried that Vivian might escape and just try and leave the house with you next time you come over.
Makes sense.
He's a big fan of Mal, but I think he likes our apartment these days, which is definitely a good thing. The reason we're talking about cats and silly stuff is that this game is well and truly slowed down, certainly in D+'s favor, who do have control right now.
We're crossing challengers.
Yes,
you actually don't have to justify, don't forget.
That's a very good point. We could have a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, this is a Pop Blossom into death. Observe the Jace being dead. He is going to go and, yeah, die. Bye. Oh, he's back. There he is.
Cool.
Jace is coming down, looking for a Baron.
We are getting Moose Knuckle. I think that was a meme. But it was a funny joke, as we do have some teleports getting used.
This is a little bit dangerous, as there is Sounder with a smite still up and available.
He's just standing there.
He is. Just going to headbutt him out, and they try to turn onto Thanatos because they think that maybe he's out of position, but he's not. He's too tanky. The rest of the teammates moving on over, and now Nongshim just going to have to try and fight a 4v5. Thumb flashing forward. The Magnus Storm's kind of half decent, but not really because Vital is nowhere near this fight. Mihail getting aggressive, finds an all-out angle as Double H is going to take down Lucid, but Vital has to flash now as well as Mihail's getting back in. Another teleport coming through as Thumb and Rahel trying to escape. Sounder, you have to be very, very careful because look at all these chakrams. My goodness, they're all over the place. Is now Vital. He's just out of position. I think he was just very confused about the range of those chakrams just going ridiculous as Cormy's just going to destroy the cow. And now Flash on top of Rahel. Oh my god, this is so challenges, baby. As, all right, Mihail, now just run for the hills. He's going to have to get out of there, right? No?
Hear me out. They're fighting for positioning on the dragon.
Got it.
It's not a Fiesta. No, it isn't. That was Fiesta. That was great. I love that.
That was like D+ did really, really well, capitalized on that pick to get themselves a Baron, and then it almost looked dicey, and then it was fine.
Yeah, so really good job here, isolating Lucid, taking him down, denying him the resets. Then actually great usage of the space here. Blastcone ends up being pretty neutral, and then this is normally where things would end, but Poolbay actually almost gets flanked by the teleport from Calmy. Then Sounder doesn't end up going down, but Vital goes forward into Poolbay and does end up dying to Rahel flashing. And then Mile and Calmy are like, hey, we can win this because Fun goes in and dies. But then that's just bait because this is still a fat crocodile who's level 16 and doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, D+ still get a huge win, but it was very funny while the lasted. Oh, they don't know. They don't know.
Well, Mihail is going to go for the angle.
So
yeah, Poolbay is really, really dead. Sound is also really, really dead. There's a pop loss and he turns it. Oh my god, this is just how Poolbay plays. He is just 1 degree off between genius and insane, and this time he ticked that extra degree. And D+, they'll break open the base. They may even just win right here.
That's game. Is it genius or is it insanity? You never know with Poolbay. But in this game, I think he's heading towards a POG because
definitely.
The mid jungle looking good here, Atlas.
Absolutely slick. This time around, Nongshim not being able to play it out. Thanatos is going to flash the Damwon 2020 icon. That was a pretty good year to be Damwon. And D+, They are going to even out the series. So we have a best of 3 on our hands. Both of these teams with a lot of experience in best of 3s.
And after a game number 1...
Oh, can you ×2 it for me?
Oh, of course, bud.
Hell yeah.
After a game number 1 that was definitely contentious, but I do think that Nongshim got a ton of small leads over the course of like 40-minute game, right? Like I think Nongshim was very consistently better. We also see YD Plus went on the win streak that they did. When they're on, they do just kind of go and win the game in 25 minutes. 26, sorry.
Like the similarities between this D plus and the other D plus are it's just almost comical. Rahel looked like he had a great game, didn't do a whole lot of damage, but still performed very, very well. But this is just the top side of the map. Like it's the classic D plus of old here in Challenger. And Nongshim, yeah, they had like First Blood and stuff like that. You can see that speck of red.
Look at that.
But otherwise, it is looking pretty up and to the right. And 26 minutes. Phew.
Bodes well for our 5-game predictions.
I reckon 5-game predictions are feeling pretty good. But this is still twice in a row D Plus had the blue side. Nongshim can now move on over to the other side of the rift, and we'll see whether that's going to create a different atmosphere for the team. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they chose red for game number 3, because I think they're a team that does look like they like adapting in the picks and bans, like the actual champions themselves, rather than where they are. But I would expect them to go towards the blue side, and we'll have a very different outlook on how this series is going to unfold as we look at the next game.
And yeah, it still could be a 3-1. You know, like the next game is a really close, like 45-minuter.
Or it's a stomp. If the next one's a stomp, it's also a 3-1.
No,
I think if it's really close to the next one, I think it's
I think
5.
if the next one is a stomp, then it's definitely a 5-gamer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think if the next one is close, it's a 3-1, but otherwise, it's 5. Stomps are bait.
Yeah.
I don't trust them. After the Gen.G series of last week...
There has been quite a few just like stomp, 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 stomp. Doesn't matter who it is. Yeah, it's just stomps the whole way.
This man, when he's on, is really good.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. And it was that, like, underneath the turret. And yes, wallet diff does play a little bit of a part, but man, that turnaround, absolutely gorgeous from Poolbay. And turns getting caught into killing 3 people.
And all 3 of, I'd say that, like, I actually, funnily enough, I think Romer is the only one who's different, because I feel like Romer is just always great.
Yeah,
but Call Me, Satap, and Poolbay are all like vying for the title of like absolutely mind-blowingly good, or why are you running? I feel like they're much more akin to players like Zeka, right? Where you have like really high highs and then some of the lows, whereas Romer, to me at least, over like the second half, the split has just felt he's just always like an 8.
Yeah, I think Call Me is closer to the Roma side of the scale than Poolbay, who is definitely
he's
out of control. But it is time for us to go to a short break. When we get back, game number 3, we'll see who moves to match point. G'dowdy everyone and welcome back to LCK Challenger 2023 Summer. It is playoffs time. We're in the upper bracket still, as these are the two most winningest teams of the playoffs thus far. One of them going to have to suffer a loss after a couple more games at least. That beautiful, beautiful cup that could be full to the brim of ramen.
Are you hungry?
No, I'm actually not. Not even at all, because we had dinner just before we went live.
We had Gen.G, which is like braised chicken, sweet potato noodles, potato, onion.
Did you say sweet potato noodles? If only it had those. It sounds crazy.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Glass noodles are made of sweet potato?
Those specifically are, yeah, the chewy ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that might be wrong.
I'm pretty sure they are.
It's worth a Google, isn't it? Because if I don't,
I'm pretty sure Gen.G uses
my brain.
sweet potato noodles. Yeah, because the chewy ones are.
Huh?
I'm gonna find out. Atlas is gonna give us the.
You just entertain the folks for a second.
Okay, so while Atlas is doing that, it's 1-1. Anyone can win. We don't really know. We both went for 5-game predictions, and I think right now that is looking pretty likely. Whichever team wins the next one, I think the way that they do it is going to be pretty important. As
I mean, the like buckwheat noodles are different, but maybe this.
It's the chewy ones you put in Gen.G.
Huh. Well, there we go. It doesn't. I can't confirm or deny. But cool. If that's in fact what it is, I'm kind of excited. Anyway, let's have a look and see how this next draft is going to shape out. Because I think it is kind of important what actually happens in the pick band. It is going to be Nongshim on the blue side, so for the first time, we are going to see them head over there. Although, no, wait. No, they started on blue side, did they not?
No,
they
it was
didn't.
D+, because D+ is the upper bracket.
Yeah.
And I do have confirmation that it is indeed Nongshim who selected the blue side as well.
Okay.
So you are right. We will, for the first time, have that swapped up.
Heck yeah.
We see some giggles over, and I think both these teams are feeling pretty chill. As Call Me, nice drawing there in the top left.
It's actually like
like a
very definitely Call Me.
It's definitely Call Me. It's a good caricature.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like the guy with the question in the bottom right.
Yeah. I did the
we've got it confirmed in chat.
Oh, we have it as well. Nice.
Yep. Yundo as well.
The only reason why...
Oh, that's Jiwoo in the middle. Hey, Jiwoo!
Oh, I love that.
And actually,
cheering on the gang.
The guy said the sign says Jiwoo's here. That's it.
No, the reason why is because I made Gen.G in the Netherlands.
Ah.
I cooked it myself.
I didn't know you could make noodles out of potato starch.
Oh, any starch. Noodles are crazy, man. They are
the crazy noodles.
The crazy noodles. Well, we're about to see some crazy noodles.
Well, we'll see whether they do go crazy or whether it's going to be something a little bit more standard, as they already have banned away the Vi, of course, one of Lucid's most successful champions. The Ari going to be taken off the board as well. Something that Pool Bay has been drifting back to quite a lot. And the Tristana, permaban so far this series, the LeBlanc as well, and the Kai'Sa not going to be seen once again in this series. The Nico hasn't got a look though, so we'll see whether Call Me does take that one away from them or whether D+ are just not going to risk it. They could ban that one away, but it's pretty volatile. If Nongshim were to just pick away the Nico to deny it from D+, they're not going to. So Nongshim now, with their pick of the litter, we'll see what they do take. A jungler could make some sense, especially with the fact that Sounder has looked a lot better on the Sejuani.
Do you B1 Sejuani? Because in that case, Thanatos can go Jax.
B1 Jax.
Yeah, because the problem with B1 Jax is that then I think D+ probably run Renekton Sedge.
Yeah, or
that
just Sedge and
is
then
still
something strong.
Kind of uncool. You know, that's not a cool thing to do. As we'll see what ends up being. It might just be Poppy Top actually. I don't dislike that. And you don't even need to put a top. You can just lock it in and kind of keep hidden where it's going, and maybe secure yourself a Zion.
Yeah. You also demand some bans as well by just locking this in. They could just still ban Renekton, things like that, just respecting the fact that the Poppy can be flexed. Lucid could also just lock in a jungler here. You never really know. But you probably don't want to run Poppy Sejuani. That looks like a lot of frontline, which is pretty cool, but you do lack damage then in that situation. And you also then have Lucid on a tank, which we don't... It doesn't spark as much joy.
Yeah, I think Poppy is a bit different because Poppy isn't actually a tank.
Love this.
I mean, she is, but also she isn't, right? Because you're kind of more off-tank.
Yeah, kind of.
And you have a lot more proactive agency, which I think is good, than with Maokai or Sejuani. Because Maokai and Sejuani, if you go in by yourself and you are, you know, your team doesn't follow, the play kind of falters with Poppy, especially if you go Sunderer, you pop them.
Yeah.
It does mean that Nongshim is getting the core of what they want so desperately, which is Jax and Sejuani. Although, funnily enough, it didn't even feel to me like the Jax Sejuani specifically was the problem at all.
Yeah,
I felt like it was
Jax.
just Jax.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Poppy, though, you are kind of signaling that it will be Lucid piloting the pick because of the Azir, right? Azir Poppy is a mid-jungle 2v2 that's quite strong. And I like that D+ are not going to give any definitive answer because it does make the ban phase a bit more awkward for Nongshim, where maybe they still want to ban, say, a Rumble, and then it might end up being Lucid. Regardless, I would just love if we, you know, remember that Trundle exists because Sejuani keeps getting away with it, and I don't like that.
Well, Lucid could have the opportunity to just jump on, press the attack, Trundle immediately after this. Oh, baby.
As the Xerath, respect towards Calmy. And Calmy should be respected. He's a threatening player, as we have seen. And here you see, right? They're like, sure, it's going to be the Aatrox at the very least taken away here.
Assuming that it is going to be Lucid moving into the Poppy position. Talia going to be taken away from Calmy as well. Something that we've seen ramp up as far as the priority is concerned.
The Dutchman is fluent in Korean too. I was like, no, I'm not. Dutch variant of Korean. I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess that works.
The Dutch variant of Korean.
Yeah,
I don't even
which
know
is
what
just
that
Dutch.
is. Yeah, I guess so. As the Alistair going to be banned away as the final one, so just dealing with something that
Rel,
runs out
right?
of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and so without Alistair and with Rel up.
Oh my god, you still don't know.
Yeah?
Because what if they bait out a Rakan and then it's Lucid Rel, which he actually plays really well, Thanatos top, and then it's like, you go
Maokai
Lulu?
support.
No, you go Lulu. The Felios Lulu, because they're going to lock in Rakan 100%.
No, but they need as many junglers as possible.
I guess.
You need 3 junglers.
Ooh,
that's exciting.
I love that.
Vital's having a bit of a... Oh, he'll lock it in. All right.
The only downside is you are full AD, but...
Yone does mixed damage, Chronicle.
Well, yeah, but you are going to be playing into Poppy and Rel, and if they stack armor, you will not get through them. Oh, come on, lock in the Lulu here. It is so free.
Maokai.
No.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that.
Just Lulu it.
This is what I thought would be banned, and it would be a mistake to ban it, but instead it's going to be
the
picked.
Renekton support, no chat, let it go.
Oh, yes. Is the Kips here? Where is he?
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's fine.
All right, Gragas is fine.
I like that a lot more than Renekton. Trying to contest the top side 3v3 when it's Yone, Jax, Sejuani, that's not the go. That's not the way that you wanna play your video game. I like the D+ combo a lot. I do think Nongshim have an incredible amount of power, but Poppy to me here is the big X factor, which I'm like, that pick into Jax, Sejuani, Yone, and Rakan, that's kind of nuts.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that kind of ruins Yone's day. This is what we actually saw in the LCK, right? Armalife Esports versus Gen.G. That series that Peanut really ran him over on the Poppy, and that was into a Yone of Zeka as well. Definitely one of our better Yones in the LCK. Was made to look a little bit silly, dashing forward into steadfast presence and things like that. There is so much mitigation here on D+'s side. I actually think that this draft looks kind of beautiful. After everything is said and done, a lot of anti-Jax stuff going on.
Yeah, you have a winning matchup in top, because this will be 8B Gragas. You have amazing disengage, and you're playing into what is mostly a full melee comp. Obviously, Zayas is a ranked AD, but let's not kid ourselves. She exists to be close to someone and blow them up with feathers. So, I really like the D+ comp. I do think Nongshim's comp, though, is the type of composition where if you make like 2 mistakes in the mid game, you lose the game.
Yeah, like they have...
The Nongshim comp is really good. It's when you hold it against the D+ comp that I get worried.
Yeah, it's looking at what the answers are to it on the D+ side of things, and they are definitely good. But it's time to rock out, and we'll see what happens when we get on to the Rift.
Do.
I just did popping sounds with my mouth.
It? I don't.
But it didn't. I wasn't quite loud enough. I didn't refill my water. I don't know whether anyone could actually hear it. I know Valdez seems to have heard something, so there's at least that. Mihail, look at all that value. Massive amounts of value. Oh, 2 out of 5? F-Cloud, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to mix it up, you know?
Why change the classic? I'm going to change Oreos.
Yeah, see?
I mean, they do actually try that all the time, but that it doesn't stick. There's only one correct choice, and it's the original one.
That's true. Whereas Tim Tams, they branched out real nice.
That just feels like a nickname for my part.
Wait, you haven't had a Tim Tam before? No. Oh man, I should bring you a packet of Tim Tams after I get back from Australia next time.
Are they that good?
I mean, it's just a chalky biscuit.
I like chalky biscuits.
But they're pretty good. You can buy them anywhere though, so you can actually get them at Emart. So if you're just at Emart sometimes, just buy a Tim Tam. They're real good.
I don't really go to Emart often, so I don't know if I want to go just for Tim Tams.
I mean, it's 5 minutes up the road from you.
Yeah, but I have another supermarket closer to me that I
Oh, they've probably got them there too.
I'll check.
You just got a Home Plus thing here or something?
Oh.
Yeah, no, they'll be there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we do have, once again, Yundo falling asleep. I like this, drifting towards the river.
Oh, it's the mouse issue.
Oh,
hey!
Dear. There we go. We've directed the camera.
Well, I think the mouse might still not be in, because we are just using...
Oh, Thumb is going to have to play.
This is... Oh, no, Yundo! I think
a disaster.
It's definitely a mouse issue.
I really hope that Yundo gets in chat and tells us exactly what's going on. I'm surprised Yundo didn't pause. Probably should have paused. It's either that or Yundo fell asleep.
There's no way.
And I think that's totally fine. Battery depleted on mouse kick. Yeah, that might have been it. We're going to have a look at Vital's win rate. It was actually 5-1 before the last game. Kind of impressive as far as his Zaya win rate is concerned.
Auto Thanatos. Hi, Yundo.
Hi, Yundo. How did you go?
Mouse boomed again.
He said a rude word that I can't actually repeat on the broadcast, but you can assume what it might have been. It means, oh bother.
Oh lordy.
Oh bother.
Unfortunate.
Oh dear.
Oh. Gosh, oh gosh.
Oh, his keyboard's not working, so actually that was probably a mistype. Anyway.
And yeah, first few levels, Jax is going to have a field day in this matchup. It really is when you get your chapter that Thanatos actually has AP necessary to trade back, and then once you start stacking a little bit of ability haste, life is going to feel a lot better, as Lucid did get his blue buff, as we can see here, after getting invaded. Mahao going for the double setup here. They spot Lucid, so they know for a fact where he is.
Yeah.
So Mahao can just go for this. Yeah, he's...
he like proxied the normal way, and he's like, I can do better
I think
than
he
this.
might execute. Because he doesn't know for a fact that Lucid is not coming for him. I mean, he assumes Lucid's going for the scuttle, but I guess
he's just going to back in the middle of the lane. There is a minion wave right there, so he's not actually going to be able to back. Maybe he just takes another wave.
I think eventually he is definitely going to get killed, though.
But it's not this time.
I think he shouldn't be able to back if Lucid just walks up. But Lucid might not want to spend his time, yeah, because of this.
Yeah, okay. Actually, probably faster just to do that than actually channeling it back as Thumb. No flash, remember. He's just going to get taken down. He should just be dead. Double H able to get out of there. He is still burning, but he will survive, and that is first blood. Over to Vital, 2 games in a row. Last game, didn't matter. This game, we'll see.
And very nicely done there. HH continuing to put the pressure on Thumb. Thumb, his laning troubles coming kind of back in this game number 2 and 3. Rahel also not having the type of weapons that you want if you're trying to fight an all-in fight. Thumb doesn't actually get to move at all. And really good CC chain there from Vital and HH. Ends up working out swimmingly in the early lead. Looking good. Love the Merc treads as well here early from Mahal.
Yeah.
Incredibly high volume item into Gragas, because it means that
and Poppy.
Also, yeah. And means that the E doesn't actually ruin you as much as it otherwise would.
Pretty clean. Call Me here. Does have Double H coming on over. Just looking to clear out some vision here in the mid lane and get things sorted. Pullbait teleports back to the lane and is just going to continue farming. But Call Me's doing a great job at the moment. Thumb moving on over and is...
I don't think you can fight this.
Yeah, they're going to give Lucid an avenue to come on over. Only level 5, so no Keeper's Verdict up and available here. So Vital moving on in level 4. This is somewhat awkward. They do get a knock up as there's the heroic charge. They should be able to take down the Rakan. Never mind, actually. And it's a massive ultimate and Q from Call Me that's going to be able to lock down Thumb once again. Call Me just absolutely no fear whatsoever. And Lucid just parked, looking to try and catch up to Call Me here, who's now trying to stay alive. And Rahel, he'll turn up. He's got some white guns as well that are looking pretty scary, and that is a dead sounder. Rahel able to get an assist and a kill off the back of that one, but they miss out on the Drake.
Ooh, and Rahel salvages the play there. Is somewhat late. Dragon ended up going down to 21 health as well.
Oh, nutty.
Which is kind of mind-blowing. So let's take another look at this. Crucially here, it's really hard to engage on top of Lucid. AJ tries to keep him out, but has to give up his own life for it. And then this ultimate from Pullbay is a complete disaster. The multi-man knock-up. But then, look at Rahel. Watch what happens here. Because Lucid doesn't go down. Great flash. And Rahel is full health, and there's a lot of low health bars. Flashes the Q, and then as a result immediately gets to take down Call Me. And not only does this end up killing Sound, it also forces the flash from Vital and gets kills for Pullbay and Rahel. So it starts off as a big win for Nongshim, and them getting a dragon ends up in D+, actually pulling closer when it comes to gold, and a relatively even trade.
Yeah, really clean flash there from Rahel. And so, like you say, rather even on the trade here. Towards the top side, it is not feeling all that even. Thanatos not exactly having the... Like, we've seen Gragas, especially the AP variety, have a really good time into Jax a lot of the time. This time, Mihail has not really been letting Thanatos do very much laning. But as it goes on, should still be all right. Just haven't seen too many of the belly bops really stopping the Jax from being able to do anything, which is something that you certainly should have available to you. But Vital back down to just farming things up. Does have a 5 CS advantage as these waves do equalize. Nongshim looking to grab themselves the first Herald. So not going to be, you know, off their stride for now. Lucid looking to move towards that bottom side of the map, slinking all the way around. Should be able to steal away a few camps and maybe even set up for some sort of a dive. As Pullbay going to be respecting the fact that that Rift Herald did just go down. Double H wanting to do the same thing with the knowledge that Lucid could be on the other side. Shifting Sands gets Pullbay to safety. No flash available, so he had to land that.
Should be able to zone here at the very least. Oh, I think B+. Definitely not wanting to take the risk here. We do have Sound on the rotation, but feels like they got a little bit scared there, and that will mean that Nongshim get themselves a Herald. And this feels, at least early on, a bit reminiscent of the game number 1, where D+ are able to trade back, but most of the long-term plays go in the favor of Nongshim. And we'll see if that continues as we go on. Do have Pullbay and the bot side both primed to take themselves a plate sometime soon. As yeah, Thanatos, I think that this is the point where the matchup actually starts turning. Because early on you just don't have the AP to really win trades. You really need at least a certain amount of damages.
Oh dear, Blade Caller still being held here by Vital, and Thumb is really, really dead. Double H gonna grab that with the last tick of the Ignite. And Thumb is 0-3 here pre-10 minutes in this game. And it's looking reminiscent to the last best of 5 that they played off in. He did come good towards the end of that series. And thankfully, they're not in a match point situation. But looking a little bit worrisome.
And unfortunately, Thumb struggles continue here. And again, I want to reiterate, this is a 16-year-old that got subbed in because Bible got called up to the main team.
Yep.
Just putting it out there for our newer viewers. Definitely struggling though, and unless he has a similar resurgence, we've gotten to the point where if this happens against a weaker team, right, it's kind of whatever, but against Nongshim, this team is really, really good.
Yeah.
And giving them free leads like this in the 2v2 definitely is going to end up backfiring immensely. We'll see if Thumb is able to pull itself back, and the one saving grace that the kill went over to HH, as opposed to anyone else, as Mahal is going to go in here.
Yeah, there's a cask against the wall as Thanatos trying to fight this one out, really wants to push this one forward. But Mahal going to be able to make his way out, but that is, once again, the Jax having to go home. Nicely played. Teleport at the ready here for Mahal. As Thanatos, he's now the one that is proxying between these waves, and it's going to have to be a teleport used from the Jax. He doesn't want to miss this whole wave. So that means teleport advantage over to D+. The Drake is alive right now. And Thanatos now looking to go home. Nongshim, they got a brief window of control around this Dragon Pit, but there is a Rel and a Poppy making their way in. And D+, they should have full priority unless they face check. All right, there's a grand entrance onto 2, but Calibrum Q going to connect. Rahel with some CC in his back pocket now with the Graviton. As D+ do slink back into the fog of war. The Jax has actually just rotated, picked up that wave, and then immediately came down towards this Drake. They do not want to give this one up. As it's now D+ that are lying in this ward. Or in this brush, sorry. On a ward. So I guess it was kind of true. And Nongshim, they're going to start this one up. Let's see whether Lucid can go for some sort of steal, as there's the knock-up. They just pick off the Rel once again. This is bullying at this point, as the Glacial Prison is going to connect. Lucid trying to get himself out of there. Keeper's Verdict gets rid of Mahal, who only just got here. It is going to be Sounder locking down the Dragon, but there's a great buffer on the ulti from Colby to mitigate the Emperor's Divide. Just massive. Moonlight Vigil comes down. Just not quite enough damage at this point in the game. Highway robbery here from Nongshim.
And Nongshim get away with everything. HH, look what he can do when he has a stopwatch and actually uses it as Vital might be in some trouble here. There's a flash available.
Oh, that was sick.
Clean flash.
Wow, it's the position reverser.
I think that what Phantos did there is he E'd and then he pre-buffered his R. But if you... I wonder if they thought that Vital had no flash, because if Vital has flash, you never... Because you can flash R afterwards. As, again, the target selection here is really, really good. Thumb, unfortunately, out of position. And then, yeah, by the point you get the ultimate, it doesn't really matter anymore. You also don't do Rel Magnet Storm combo. Really clean buffer there from Colby. Colby doesn't actually get to go ahead of him. And D+ in shambles. Ultimate doesn't have enough AP, as we do see the salvage attempt.
Mahal, 1v2, 1v2? What is happening over here? Can we bring up the picture-in-picture? Don't tell me he's going to get... What? Thanatos did take him down in the end.
Easy, not even close. Lucid wouldn't die there.
Surely not.
Surely not.
Not ever.
Also, I have to admit something.
Okay.
Atlas, I made a mistake.
What up?
Thumb is not 16.
How old is Thumb?
He's 15.
Oh. Okay, well there you go.
He does turn 16 in 2 days.
Oh my god.
Just if you're wondering what kind of pressure this player is on, his Thanatos is definitely dead here.
Well, Colby gonna miss that
unless...
cue. And now flashes the wall and he's fine.
Oh, never mind, he's fine.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's okay.
Don't know why we'd ever bait our viewers into thinking that a kill was going to happen on a top laner outside of this one.
Mahal on Jax has just built different. This flashes in. And then just everything here, the fact that the shield is just enough to keep Lucid alive, the extra resistances for Poppy this early on, when she gets low, are a bit frustrating. I love the call there from Mahal though. Like, it gets ganked, it's like, I'm flashing in.
Well, get another crash down here onto Mahal. I don't know whether Lucid and Thumb could ever really do anything to a Jax. And they're going to realize that too as they do back away. Mahal and Double H now moving towards this bottom lane. Try and catch this wave. They don't want that one to fall down as vision of Thumb and Lucid is acquired. Rahel just wanting some free time with this one. Great little knock-up as Lucid not going to be able to deny the grand entrance. Actually really good decision by Double H to just short it a little bit. that. And Vital gonna shove Shirley into the outer turret. That's going to secure that one. That is first brick being collected by Nongshim. Nice injection of gold, and they are ahead by a couple of thousand, which is kind of nutty given how this game has been going. Now Rahel could be in trouble. Another great knockup from Double H as Thumb comes down, misses the Magnet Storm completely, and earns himself a thumbs up and gives one back.
Yeah, I think Magnet Storm there is fine, because if he doesn't, then HH and Mahal will just try and stay on top of Rahel and try to take him down. Ends up working out evenly here, but Nongshim is getting very far ahead. We haven't really talked about the Dragon yet, but this is an Infernal Drake. And Nongshim is already doing really good, really well, and I am a little worried about how the teamfight cohesion is going to look, with Thumb looking very uncomfortable here, and they are relying on him, because it's about up to him and Lucid. Now, you can play the Rel as like kind of a try and keep Rahel safe, but I do think that the pick 1 doesn't do that nearly as well. And more importantly, it's Jax, Yone, Sejuani, so, you know, Lucid and Thanatos maybe have the tools to keep them off, but I don't think that you really can as the Rel here. And it also looks like Thanatos going for maybe Zhonya second. Now, that is a very high value item, but I do think that it means that your damage will be not nearly as impressive.
Somewhat negligible, I would agree. And I do really like the 1-3-1 from Nongshim.
Oh, yeah.
I think them recognizing that that could be a win condition for them as well is kind of cool, because they did so well in game 1, play through Mihail's split push. I think if Mihail is on one of these champions that can really threaten side lanes, even if he is a 0-2 Jax, I'm not too worried about that. We've seen, you know, we've been through Noggery training. We know that a 0-2 top laner is still capable of killing structures.
Noggery? Who is he? We're talking Dundun training.
No, that's 0-7.
Now.
That's very different. He needs to die another 5 times before we get to that.
Hey, maybe he can try.
Yeah, the 0-2 power spike, we know where that one came from.
Oh, I miss Klepto.
Oh, yeah. I liked it when he tried Omni Stone immediately afterwards. And yeah, this is, and it's another Infernal Soul, which is kind of nutty. Lucid moving on over. We'll see whether he does channel the Poppycopter. As yeah, TP is going to get stopped here as Mihail keeps him in position. Keeper's Verdict going to get rid of the jungler, and now Lucid should be able to secure this, but they are going to move away immediately. Thumb's going to be taken down. Double H is just bouncing around the pit. The Dragon is going to be kept still, and that was such a beautiful ultimate from Sounder. Now moving back towards the Drake to lock this one down. Colmy's swept up, but they trade him for Soul Point, and you take that, especially if you also get the kill under Rahel. And Nongshim are just coming alive in this mid-game.
And unfortunately for D+, Nongshim just a little bit way too dominant there in the team fight. And I want to see a replay. Yeah, Poolbay's dead. I want to see a replay here. So the cancel is really nice, as I think Lucid with his W might be. No, good flash there from Mihail, and things are looking absolutely boomed, as Atlas is going to have to ban just gets the ban.
There's a few of them.
Yeah, he gets to ban a couple of people. Yeah. That's really cool. This is some plat gameplay.
Yeah, that guy.
This is some great final chat message.
This guy can enjoy some plat gameplay once he's been banned, because he doesn't need to be in chat anymore.
Hey, so.
Oh wait, no, some silver gameplay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Credit to Nongshim again. I want to take another look, because what I'm not quite sure is how. Because this is a great cancel. Obviously, Thanatos doesn't actually get to go in here. But what I'm wondering is, why didn't they engage here? Because we do actually see like Fun going in, but yeah, it's just the disengage there. But I think Poolbay needed to go in there. Like even without ult, at least try and threaten the backline, because Falme actually is really low. And don't forget, is that Jax can't actually TP in either. So this is not like you're down to TP, you can't go for the core. Because a member was down, so I think that's partially on FUM. The engage obviously not looking too clean, but I also think that Poolbay should have tried and gone in there, particularly with
they should have
the
just
fact that so much was already gone.
Yeah, you knock out the Sejuani, then you have a man advantage. It's the Poppy rule that
What's your opinion?
Quite able to play around it.
New Zealand pies are better than Australian. I've had New Zealand pies and they're exceptional.
New Zealand pies. So my opinion is they're our pies. Because we just claim all of the stuff that we like about New Zealand as Australians. That's how it works.
Okay.
We're a pack of criminals, so it fits.
You just get to us. Oh,
okay.
Oh, he's just too clean.
Yeah, Thanatos going to be able to walk out of this one. Lucid is not going to be so lucky. There are a whole... Oh, okay, never mind. He is going to burn to death, so he's dead. But that was pretty cool. I like that the camera was right there as all the Nongshim members got the big old zoom. Doesn't save Lucid at all, as Rahel is now going to get teleported on. They do get extra vision as there's the ulti. It connects. Magnet Storm is decent for some defense as Rahel is just trying to red-white gun. As soon as the white one comes out, though, he's stunned and destroyed. And Nongshim are just kind of pile driving now.
Yeah, this one is done, so. I think that once the early, as we mentioned, once you are able to fully destabilize, you're indeed... Oh, Thanatos and a dream.
Can he
There's
do
no
it?
way, though. He's
Pulve
alone.
is just going to try and throw Call Me out of there. Thanatos is going to go down, and then the Baron will go down, and then Nongshim will go down the mid lane and break open the base after going down to Boris's shop and walking up the aisles and just taking whatever they want, like Neo in the Matrix. It is, it's feeling pretty done.
Chat's really having a tough time
Chat's
today.
really talking about even shrouds a lot.
Yeah.
This has been pretty standard on Yone for a while.
It's a trophy special. Although he wasn't actually, I think it was played in other leagues as well. You're very far behind. You know, just try to salvage something. Doesn't end up working out, but I think this game, unfortunately, is definitely donezo here for D+. And good Matrix yeah. Wait, did you make a Matrix reference?
Yeah, I did. Just
oh, nice.
You know how he goes to the what is it,
the Oracle?
No. What's the something program? There's a special program where he gets to get all the guns. You know, the guns, lots of guns. Bit.
Did you ever play that?
Enter the Matrix? God, I love that game. I love that game.
With Trinity and
no, with Niobe. That's where like you like follow Niobe and it's got like the pilot character guy. He was actually amazing in those games. And like they actually filmed like basically half a movie.
In my head, that games look amazing, and I'm never going back. I always wanted to
they looked not great.
No, but like in my head they do, so I'm just never gonna go back.
They looked bad for a GameCube game. You know, like you played that, and then you played like Metroid Prime, and you're like, wow, this is next gen.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a shame. I think Enter the Matrix is also a PlayStation 2 game as well, and so like multiple platform and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's not that complicated. Just don't be toxic. You can say like, oh, this team is playing bad, but if you actually flame the players, then basically everyone will.
And it's also like, it's basically a general rule of don't be an idiot, because if you do flame the players, then you are an idiot, because all of these players are better than you. They're all better than you.
Not by a little bit.
By a massive amount. Like, it's not even close.
It's, you know, if you're like, oh, I think we should better. So it's really easy. If you're like, I think we should have built this item because of X, Y, Z, that's okay.
That's fine.
We're like, this team isn't playing well. Also okay.
Yeah.
Why this trash team top 1? That's a no.
Yeah. And
it's not that complicated.
Denunciated. They're better than Ox. They're definitely, like, otherwise Dan would be playing in Challenges, you know? But he's not.
This game is very dumb, by the way, if you're wondering why we're giving, why we're discussing Enter the Matrix and discussing some of the chat rules. Which, actually, you know, I'll take this as a win, because this week we have more new people watching Challengers for the first time.
And it's totally fine. And we do need to, like, throw out PSAs, because, you know, there are some other chats
they might
where,
not know.
like, these things happen quite a lot, you know?
And they're normal.
It's really sad.
Just not here.
But, like, we'd just prefer it if we ran a tighter ship than that, where we can have some fun discourse about all sorts of stuff. And no, don't do it in YouTube chat. YouTube chat suffered enough.
don't make YouTube chat worse, man. YouTube chat's going through a lot of stuff right now.
It's going through so much. YouTube chat is like therapy, but there's no certifications.
Yeah, I don't think the Elder Flip will happen in this game, chat. Maybe the next one. Because we are very much on track for the D+, get behind in Game 4, but then somehow win the game and bring us to a Game 5 angle.
Yep. Also, Astro Nautilus is #1 Nautilus in Korea.
Call.Me was actually... He was rocking the Defter mode. And he has a QSS.
Absolutely. We've seen like so many of the Defter modes. It's been pretty good. Yeah, he's imagine if he went the Bomby Knocker. The funny flail thing. The one that you know the name
Silver
of.
Midon?
That's the one.
Ah, yeah. I don't know why it's called Silver Dawn either.
I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it dumb flaily thing forever.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
As Lucid.
Oh, gets the control ward in. As can they both kill? No, they can't. They can't even chase.
He went. He went Outbreaker sec. I love Mahal, man. Like we got to vote for HH in this one. But Mahal's my guy. I love this guy. He's just Hullbreaker second. He doesn't care. They're actually 1-3-1-ing. This is a Challengers team. What they doing?
I mean, this is Nongshim. This is Nongshim. This is the team that won 3-1s.
Do you think Nongshim's going to win with about 3 months of beard?
Ooh, that's quite a few months of beard as Thanatos takes 50% of his health bar in a couple of seconds there by Call Me. He's doing very well as, oh, that was a cute one from Sounder. Gets the Gale Force out of Rahel, and on this patch, that is more costly than it has been in the past. As Mihail thought that there might be a little bit of a fight on their hands, so they dip into a bit of a 4-1, but then he gets back to work in the side lane. And Nongshim, this is all they have to do. They don't even have Baron.
No,
Baron's going to be up in a minute, and they do.
Free.
They do have Infernal Soul.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no angle chat. I'm sorry.
This is a beautifully constructed attrition that Nongshim have. Like, they've just suffocated D+, and they've pulled them, pushed them and pulled them around this this base really, really beautifully. And yes, they have a like it's a 12,000 gold lead, right? So you definitely can do that, but this is very clean closing out of a game.
Yeah,
and you have to celebrate that because it's all we have really to celebrate at this point in time. Keeper's Verdict going to get rid of the jungle of Lucid. Also almost just in the death chamber as that grand entrance absolutely fantastic from Double H's. Yeah, they do manage to take down Vital. Couple of carries still left alive though. There goes the Gragas and bonk goes Mihail as Rahel is still very, very scary, but Call Me finds the ultimate angle. That is a very dead Aphelios, and that will be the end of the game. Call Me almost sacrifices his entire health bar, but it works out in the end, and it is now just Thumb left alive. From just Thumb being dead most of the time to now him being the last man standing. Kind of poetic here at the very end of this game. He will be taken down unceremoniously, but he will take Sounder with him, which is definitely good. As Mihail's also dead. That's a lot of money for the Thumb.
The death timers are definitely not long. I don't think they can. They've won the game, but I don't think they can end.
Yeah.
So can I interest you in an HH vote?
Yeah, no, I'm very interested.
Okay, I'll sign you up already.
That's 15 out of 16 kills at 27.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
so obviously Thumb having a really bad game. HH also having an amazing game. I can't believe that this guy who got pulled up at the beginning of this year is straight up contesting with people like Pleda and Duro, which I think is awesome. I did not expect that one bit.
No, it's like Double H has been a renaissance. Like most of these players, honestly. Like you've already mentioned Mihail, we've been talking about him all day. Call Me, he was starting to improve probably towards the second round robin of this season. He was just really coming into his own. And Sounder, throughout the playoffs, has just been amazing. A few of his angles for these ultimates have been somewhat Peanut-esque. Some of them have been pretty Umpty-esque as well, but when he lands them real clean. And now Nongshim, after a few whoopsies, just to prove that it is still Challengers, baby, they will now parade up this mid lane or top lane or whichever lane they would like, and look to finish this game off. Just one Nexus turret between them and Match Point in this series, and a ticket to the finals. Nongshim once again in a summer finals. The more things change, the more they stay the same, Chronicler. An opportunity for a rematch of those finals as well, as the lower bracket will contain the other team.
Maybe they'll be nice and give us an Elder Flip, after which they will immediately win the game.
Maybe it's just the, like, maybe for D+, it's just too hard to face Nongshim. Just because it's still fresh in their mind, you know?
The flashbacks?
The flashbacks to the Dundun moments, you know? They see Jax and they're like, I don't know how to live. As that's a flash heroic charge that doesn't get a stun onto Call Me. Call Me just wandering casually. He's now going to look for an ultimate, does get interrupted, and that's an Elder Drake that's just going to be secured. Thumb now, I feel like a Wrath of the Dragon is going to come through. Mihail finds Rahel on the back line, as in goes Double H, but doesn't quite get onto Rahel. But look at this, it's just a Rakan that's basically going to burn him down, and there he goes. Emperor's Divide going to be used onto Mahal. He uses it to taxi towards Lucid. Sounder trying to find Pool Bay, and this game is done. It is over. It was over a while ago, but they had to get themselves an Elder Drake in order to get there this time around, and they can now flex their muscles. It is getting towards a 20,000 gold lead. That is just completely ridiculous. Call me flashing the KT logo as they take down the Nexus. I don't know what it means, but I do know what the result means. It means match point for Nongshim.
And Nongshim, a bigger blowout in one way, and I think very similar to the previous one in another, because the D+ one actually was a lot faster, but this one felt a lot worse because the game
You have a bad time for longer in a game like this.
Yeah,
I think
no,
it probably
actually,
feels worse to lose a game like this.
I would say so as well. And yes, I think Call Me also had an amazing game. But to me, the big difference maker was just Vital and HH. And Thumb, unfortunately, I think the Rel, actually, even compared to the Nautilus games, this was definitely the worst performance we've seen of him. And if that is going to happen against a team like Nongshim, you're just not going to be able to win. You know, there's a couple of extra kills really destabilize the way that you can play around the map and play around the early laning phase. And then that gives space to the top side 3v3 to do so much more. And as we see, that's more than enough for Nongshim to win. And again, obviously in this one they got a humongous lead early, but to me, Nongshim feel like the more well-rounded team by a pretty large margin, which makes sense if you remember that D+ lost their main shot caller. And D+ feels reliant now to really hand stiff. And, you know, they might be able to do that in Game 4. We might go to Game 5 nonetheless. But it does give me the creeping feeling that Nongshim, no matter what, will end up being the victor today. Because they just look really consistent.
Yeah, it's the what we're seeing demonstrated here is a great team versus great players.
Yeah.
And Nongshim, I don't know what it is about the camaraderie that this organization can build in their players after what was one of the most tragic rosters to ever come out, like last year. Nongshim, they discovered why that failed, and they're like, we're all inning on good atmosphere, guys. And it has just been an absolute joy for this squad, like both in Challenger and in the LCK. It's just beautiful.
It's really fun to watch as well.
And the most obvious double HPOG comes in very clean with the voting so far. Kill participation of 90% as the curtains are drawn. Like, absolutely beautiful play.
And it makes sense. Unanimous here for HH. And you will be able to pick up his 110 vision score there as well. 109 CST score.
109 is not...
No, it's not high at all.
It's not high at all. But a lot of those not very high.
Yeah, so Bible is... I saw some people wondering. Bible is called up to the main team, and because in play-ins you are locked in, or playoffs rather, you can't go down during playoffs. You can during the regular split, which is what we've seen a lot of. For Nongshim though, it's back-to-back Smash years, and they're about to punch themselves a ticket, but for the first time, I'd say in a year and a half, not as the underdog, but as the favorite. Like if they make it to the grand finals with them dispatching rapidly of DRX, if they can take down D+ here as well, I think they're the front runners, and that is insane when you think about the fact, yes, they won last summer. It was an upset. Yes, they made it last year in spring, you know, the current roster. But that was also something that was completely unexpected. And for this roster, in their first year in Challengers, to be able to get in for winners finals will be incredible.
Super impressive. I think, like, just the coordination of this team, the macro play, the way they play together, and then individual mechanics on top of that, they've just been really fantastic to watch. So I want to see more, and thankfully we get to. They're going to move to match point. There is some silver scrapes on the horizon if D+ can find themselves a win in the next game. But even if it is just Nongshim closing this series out, and you know, it's only 4 games, not quite as exciting. It really does set up for a really heated next 2 matches in these playoffs. So we are going to go to a short break. When we get back, we'll see whether Nongshim can do it or whether it's the silver scrapes. G'day everyone and welcome back to LCK Challenger 2023 Summer Playoffs. It is the upper bracket, the two most winningest teams, but there is one team that has done more winning than the other thus far, and it is Nongshim. They're up 2-1 in the series currently. They are looking poised to take a ticket to the final on Tuesday. It is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Because tomorrow we get yet another one of these. The lower bracket final,
Hanwha
or
DRX.
the lower bracket semi, I guess, Hanwha DRX. And then we get the lower bracket final in Daejeon.
It's Daejeon, guys.
And then we stay in Daejeon for the LCK Summer Final.
LCK Summer
and then the
Final.
next day, it's the lower bracket final of Challenger. And then it's Challenger Finals on Tuesday. Does the excitement ever stop? Yes, it does. On Wednesday for one day. And then there's I think there's a couple of days. Then there's a couple of days, and then we're qualifying. Then we're qualifying. We're watching Beryl make it all the way to Worlds. It's going to be so incredibly exciting. Can you guys wait? Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I just can't wait to see what Skinny chooses. Right? You know when he's the world champion for the third time?
It's not making it, Atlas. It's not happening.
Are you saying it's impossible?
Yeah.
So wait, he's not in the qualifier?
No, he is.
He's in the gauntlet?
No, he's in the gauntlet.
Oh, and he's in DRX at 6th place?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a world's winning recipe to me. That's all I'm saying.
Sample size of 100%.
All of last year it was entirely correct. Don't ever say it's over if Beryl is breathing. Absolutely. That's words to live by. You get those tattooed. You'd get those tattooed.
I did, in fact, show Atlas the frames from POG State. The one where I'm with my hands in my head, and then the one where Atlas is like pointing at Valdez.
Oh yeah.
That one's my favorite. It's like the meme.
Yeah.
Where Atlas like. We did see. And I'm not worried about the 4 players on D+ that have been in this position before after that loss, because we saw them reverse sweep.
Yeah.
While playing pretty horrendously. I am worried, though, about Thumb.
Yeah, we'll see whether the Thumb can have some redeeming performance here in this game.
It's his birthday in 2 days.
Yeah, he's going to turn almost a bit old.
He's going to turn 6.
He might be he'll almost be an adult.
Oh my god.
It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
2 days before his birthday. I don't think Nongshim are too bothered by that. I think they're going to try and maintain the level of composure they've had thus far in this best of 5. We'll see if blue side here, third time rather for D+ is enough to get us to a silver scrapes.
Yeah, because of course they did lose the first game on blue side, so it's not like this is a side selection win game type situation. But they might have a few strategies here in the draft to try and help them out, make sure that this first pick is going to work out. The last time they won, it was due to a Nico first pick. We'll see whether that is going to be mitigated here by Nongshim.
If I'm so old now, get him a walk.
Yeah, he needs a walk.
Yeah,
well, in 2 days. Like right now it's totally fine. Like he can hop, skip, and jump, but soon it's walker time.
Is it the B1 Nico again? Or is Nongshim going to deny this pick?
I would assume that the Nico is going to be banned. Jack's going to be taken away once again here by D+. Oh, the Ari band again. I don't know about this from Nongshim. Last time, like, that draft looked real weird. And so they are going to just run it back. And this was the only draft that I thought was actively bad on the Nongshim side. And so Xayah will be locked in. This is relatively understandable. And there is the Rel. And so it was Xayah, Rel, Rakan. And then they rounded it out with the Jace Cassante, and that's what we didn't like.
Yeah, the Xayah, Rakan, Rel, I think is a great combo. HA's just picked up a POG. Understandably, D+ is just going to run it back as well. Like, they have zero reason to pivot away.
Ooh, different order?
Maybe.
Or maybe Lucid takes a leaf out of Canyon's book and plays Jungle Nico.
That could be cool.
That's why he picked Renekton instead, to make it easier to swap.
Same draft.
I mean, so far it is. Yeah. However, still plenty of flexing to do. And so Azir going to come in instead. So that is going to be their adaptation to make sure that they do have the Azir in the hands of Call Me. Does kind of work into the Nico, of course. Like Pop Blossom starts getting channeled. As soon as you see the Nico is in the sky with a huge circle, you press Emperor's Divide and hope that she gets out of the way in time. A possibility See what Nongshim actually do to
Oh, the
further
respect
adapt.
Viego ban.
Love to
Makes
see
sense. I think, though, that Viego is not the essential part of this composition. And you can kind of put in... You can go Kha'Zix here as well if you'd want. You can go Lee.
Nico jungle.
You can go Nico jungle. Yeah,
Big Jace, something like that.
Ooh, I mean, into this, I actually think it's the Xerath angle. Although Nico Xerath does sound like a pretty horrendous mid.
Doesn't seem great.
No, it doesn't.
And especially play Yone.
Yeah, they can. Especially because Nongshim can also go for Poppy, right? They can just like R4 Poppy and then flex Rel to support, where she is still very, very strong.
No one wants AP Yi back. I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah, that was no fun.
You know, Faker still has a 100% win rate on Yi.
Makes sense. I
Because
don't think it's ever gonna change.
absolutely insane AP Yi.
Mahal do it. Oh, this is no Vital. Vital is a known troller. He's a known hoverer.
He learnt in OCE. He figured it out.
You mean OCE veteran Vital?
Oh yeah, a true dire wolf. As Nah will be the lock-in here. Mahal just wanting to throw boomerangs at a crocodile over and over again, much like the people of my country.
It's also an opportunity to go and build Hullbreaker again.
True.
Which I think Mahal is just... Mahal stands for My Hullbreaker.
Yeah. No,
that's what he...
I think that's what it translates to.
Yeah.
As that's going to be Sejuani. So Sejuani Renekton going to be coming in here for D+. It's a fair bit of power, especially if they can catch Mahal overextended. Could certainly start putting this Nah in a hole. And Thumb back on the cow once again. Kind of like it. The Rakan now banned away, and we'll have to see what Double H is going to do, or what Sounder is going to do. I don't know whether there's necessarily like the ultimate jungler that you can now just pick up to make this composition look godly.
I think Poppy, as mentioned, will be good, but
Nautilus Rel is a great combo.
Yeah, I do like that a lot, because one of the big issues we always have with Gnar is that there's not enough engage on the rest of the map. And I think the Nongshim comp is great. D+ do have, very similarly to the last game, they saw them play with very similar comps to this. A lot of early game power. Topside 2v2 looks incredible this time around. And I think the 3v3 is also great. But Nongshim have a very damage profile, an actual third carry, and I think a wonderful draft to play this out. Felios really enjoys it when, you know, the enemy team kind of has to filter into him and they don't have too much lockdown and he kind of can get peeled by. Into D+, I don't know if he's really going to have all that much playmaking potential, and I do think Rahel is... Even though D+ kind of revolves around Lucid and Polbay, like winning the mid-jungle 2v2, it does feel like when Rahel is in a position where he can be meaningful, the team looks so much better. Like going back to some of the games on Monday as well.
I mean, it was when he was playing Aphelios. Like, this guy is just very, very comfortable on this champion, and I 100% agree. I think it kind of works very similarly to aiming on KT, right? If you were to liken it to the LCK. Aiming looks good when you don't really look at him that much, and then he's fed. You know, it's kind of how that one goes.
I looked at the YouTube chat.
Oh God, what's happening?
Terrible decision. Yeah, I just shouldn't. I never learn, chat. Hold me accountable and don't let me look.
Yeah, there's one guy saying really dumb stuff over there.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Oh no, there's two guys.
Oh, Alexander's just like, sorry, I just have to be.
It's okay, Alexander.
You're one of the good ones,
you're,
mate.
You're
holding
good
down
one.
the fort.
Don't you worry.
We're
not talking about you.
Yeah. I like that Alexander used to try and defend it, and now he's just like, oh, what can I do?
He doesn't have to do anything.
Mr. Heehaw, how you doing?
Valdez thinks AFL.
Oh, I watched it. I actually messaged Valdez about the whole AFL, the American Football League thing. Someone was trying to convince them to be like Saints fans, though. Like St. Kilda fan. Really?
Can't relate. No idea what you're talking about.
Let's not do that. Let's rock out. Going for the base. Going for the base. Could be our final one. For today, at least. So I had to make sure it was good.
Oh God, what is
punchy.
happening?
Oh dear. Oh,
What is
dearie me.
happening?
Call Me is just hitting a ward. Double H is what?
Why were Lucid
There
and
were some
Kobe-
flashes and stuff.
Or Lucid and Thanatos there?
Well, let me tell you a story.
You don't
It's
know.
challenges, baby.
Oh, nice. Nice. We haven't really been hit with a lot of It's Challengers babies today, so
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Mid-beast is my favorite Australian sport. We should tell Drew that.
He's here. I haven't
He
seen
is.
him yet, though.
I watched some of his most recent content. It was not. It was not something I should talk about right now. But he was he definitely got some content out of it. Good old Drew. It's been a while since we've seen him. It's good to see that he's back.
The games are a bit chaotic, but LCK CL looks there you go. That's a real Challengers fan right there. Embrace
Oh.
the madness.
Has a name that I don't feel great about repeating. However, we would if we could, you know? Wait, Mid-Beast isn't here.
He's not here.
No.
There's no way.
Surely not. To be honest, Royal going for an auto goal. Yep, I'd agree with you, Denunciator. Could have actually read instead of just mumbling, but I decided mumbling was fine.
It's fine. It's not like we have to be clear in our chat. I'm Mid-Beast. Oh.
Oh,
Zormi.
Hi. Hi, Zormi. Oh, I love you too.
Yeah, because it's Zor Mid-Beast.
Zor Mid-Beast.
Zor. It's like...
Oh, Zorim on Twitch.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It works out.
You can easily get there. In fact, if you use an Australian accent, you can get to any sentence with any word. It's actually quite fine. You just slur them together. It's easy. Don't you worry. Drop bears causing too much latency issues when they hang on the internet cables. There must be something causing those issues. It surely isn't the fact that it's a gigantic landmass with humans spread out all over the place, and it's just, you know, logistically and geographically difficult to make internet work.
It's also
really well.
not that many.
I think it's probably the drop bears.
People compared to a lot of other good, you know, regions. It's not that many people. Just Australia or just
Well, it's
OCE.
just separated from the rest of the world, so you can't scrim with other.
Yeah.
You can't scrim with the top tier of other regions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah. Geographically kind of ready. That being said, there is, like, in FPS and stuff like that, there's quite a few decent Australian teams, stuff like that. You know,
I remember 2021 Internet Gaming.
Oh, yeah.
My first international
Our
event.
boy Pabu.
When Pabu and the boys found a way to beat... They beat C9, right? That was who they beat? They beat a team they weren't supposed to beat. It was C9. It was glorious. He had green hair. They played that song, Stay, by Justin Bieber.
I mean, Pabu is 1v1, like, master of the universe. He beat Faker.
Yeah.
He's, like, probably the GOAT for that reason alone. Because you get that mantle.
Yeah.
I think that's how it goes.
Caster, have you all ever played Valorant? I did, but it didn't really stick. I'm not an FPS kind of guy.
I'm not a gun shooty shoot guy.
I've played some FPS games pretty extensively, but that was when I was younger and my hands did better.
Yeah.
Have you ever played...
I played Quake. You know Quake 2 is released on Switch, like, today?
Oh, no, I didn't know. You played Command & Conquer Renegade? The FPS version of... Yeah, there was an FPS.
No.
Yeah, it was a third person. I think it was FPS. Yeah, it had multiplayer as well. It was a first/third, I think it was first-person version of Tiberian Sun. So you had, like, all those items and... Yeah, it was crazy.
Cool.
It was really cool. Chronicler is old and washed now? Yes, I am.
Moonglade was pretty good at SC2 back in the day. I mean, absolutely. He's also a great commentator as well. I tried to snipe Moonglade for League of Legends in, like, 2015. I remember.
Didn't work?
It didn't work. He just wanted to stay in Queensland and do whatever he was doing. He was
living his best life.
He was gamer more than commentator.
Bring back Lemmings.
Yeah,
the game?
Bring back Worms, man.
I did play RuneScape back in the days, as did every other kid. I also played a game called Tribal Wars, which was an idle browser game, but I didn't play very well.
Did you play Black and White?
The RTS?
Yeah, the one
a little
about,
bit,
like,
but not
being
that
God,
much.
basically.
Yeah, not that much.
I didn't play that much of it either, but I liked that game. It felt like a really cool version of SimCity.
Samaz, Perf better than the world. Is Perth nice?
over World.
I also only know it from the
Perth is
song.
great as long as you get everything done before 6 p.m.
Clean flash?
Yeah, it's a nice flash from Thanatos. Gets out of the way from Sounder, but still has to use his flash.
I did play Star Wars Empire at War. I also played Battle for Middle-earth. Battle for Middle-earth 2 is still one of my favorite games of all time.
Do you battle?
Have you played it?
No.
It's so good. So it's an RTS, and you had like a bunch of different cool
so is it
factions.
like a large, like super large scale armies?
No,
sort
not
of
really.
RTS,
But you can also do that. It had like you could do like a large like map of Middle Earth, and then you would have like basically play Risk, but the individual battles were fought out as an RTS.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. And then you could also make your own character that would become like a Lord of the Rings character. You should have like a character creation where you could. Yeah, I know the game was incredible, really, really good. That's Total War. No, it's not. Oh, I know. Yeah,
I mean,
Total
it's
War as
basically
well.
what Total
but
War
it's,
is. Yeah.
it's not the one I'm talking about.
Huh.
But I've played Total War as well. Empire was War as well. I was really into RTS when I was young, which is why I got into StarCraft and into Korean sports in general.
I don't know whether I told chat, but I was at the gym and I found I just like had the TV on that was like near on the treadmill that I was using, and it had Caster Jern casting StarCraft 1 from 2002.
Glorious.
Yeah. On it was Star League.
Amazing.
And it was back when like everyone dressed like Power Rangers. It was just the coolest thing, and Caster Jern looked basically the same. And it was 21 years ago.
I've been talking about this, but I still firmly believe the actual best part about a world championship in Korea is Caster Jern doing the
I mean, I think that he should
ceremony.
do all of the like intros to the finals every year, no matter what. Like,
I
I
agree.
actually think that he should just do them all.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that is actually the best part. You know, historically, Worlds in Korea haven't been great for us.
No.
Hey,
2014 was all right.
Yeah, that's 9 years ago.
We're
I'm not
1-1. We're 1-1.
Yeah, I guess. Last time though, not great memories, but the fact that Caster Jern is going to do the opening to a Worlds Finals.
And we might get another KDA album. You never know.
Yeah, there's actually been some rumors.
I
there's
haven't heard any
a
rumors
certain
yet.
K-pop boy band that apparently got hinted towards because they visited.
Which one?
Not one of the ones that.
Not that one.
Not that one. No.
Okay. There's an hour into the wall.
Thanatos.
We're seeing whether Thanatos is dead, and I think Thanatos may be dead. If at first you don't succeed, get a flash and try. Never mind. They miss the boulder, and he's just gonna go back. That is 2 flashes for a nothing.
I'm going to give Thanatos the credit for that one. I actually think he played it really well. So he got the empowered W off, which meant, I think it was on Sound Up, it might have been on My How, to ensure that he wouldn't actually get taken down. And then also sidestep the boulder while getting a Q off. I don't think it was empowered, but maybe the Fury Generation was enough. And that's going to give the early Herald over to D+. Silver scrapes, anyone?
Yeah, we might be getting there. It's not a massive advantage, however, it could certainly balloon to something larger.
Ballooning.
I do love a bit of ballooning. And Thanatos is going to have a flash advantage relatively soon. If he can play around Narbars, he's going to be very, very scary.
Can you make balloon emeralds?
Can I?
Yeah.
No. I never trained in
me
the
neither.
art of balloon
So
animaling.
plate going to be denied here.
Flies off, money just falls to the floor, never to be seen again.
Yep, well, they wanted to go for a tempo back instead. Will be missing out on his plate as a result, but might get them the prio that they need to fight over this upcoming objective. If they can get 2 dragons early on, then we've gone for what, 10 minutes before we actually talked about the game. We're getting into normal challengers territory.
Not a whole lot has really happened in
Very true.
the game. So we haven't really needed to. A Dragon and a Herald have both been secured by D+.
Yes.
But Nongshim do have one of these a little bit more slow burn compositions, so they're not exactly feeling like it's the end of the world. Still, Thumb comes on over, looks to clear out some vision, does so comfortably. Has now got a little bit of an awkward situation where Double H is between an enemy mid laner and a bottom lane, but he'll be fine.
How much gold is Thanatos sitting on? He only has Warfields and brown bags.
Yeah, he should have a fair bit of money. Although he does have
reckon he
somewhat
would.
item
But
parity.
he can just stay locked in lane as long as he doesn't let Mahal back. He's completely fine. There's HH.
Yeah.
Gonna be okay.
Hooks his way out. Thumb not going to quite find the angle there as Lucid just lurking as we have 7 seconds until this Drake is going to spawn. Call Me and Sounder just wanting to collect Poolbay, and there is the Emperor's Divide. They pull him away, but Magnet Storm doesn't get a lot of value because Poolbay uses the flash to get out of it. The rest of D Plus do give up on the chase though.
That's 2 ults. I think you have to let it go.
Oh, there is a ward in this bit, but yeah, I think that they are just going to leave it.
They're really gonna try? Ooh, Poolbay does have TP. Mahal walking over.
Somewhat dangerous. Sounder looking to try and crash his way out. And yep, Thumb is going to give a little bit of question mark as Lucid looking to try and get out. Vital, great Feather Storm, but he's not out of the woods just yet as he does have to flash. Will keep himself alive, but they lose out on the Drake and they kind of just overextend into that one.
And happy to see that Thumb didn't lose his entire appetite for engages after that pretty rough last game. And D+, Poolbay on the Nico again. Yeah, he takes a decent amount of damage, but is then able to turn it around, right? Flashes away, 2 ultimates down. I do like Nongshim still threatening a contest there because it meant that Poolbay had no choice but to teleport back in. And it will mean that he can't get to really spend a lot of the gold and will give a teleport lead over to Call Me. But right now, D+ feeling good. And if they can get the Fur Drake,
Oh, if they can get Mountain Souls as well, my god, that is
Against,
actually
that
so
is
much value for this team.
oh yeah, because they do have a lot of beef, and it also makes things like Mahal a lot less threatening when you do have a Mountain Shield, and his damage just isn't going to be nearly as obnoxious to play into.
Yeah, and Sounder will just not do any damage ever again as the game goes on. It'll just be... It'll be hard because there are a lot of facilitators. You know, you've got Double H and Sounder just trying to get that CC down. Sometimes it can be relevant from a rel, relevant, all that sort of stuff. But it's not going to this time.
We got both Gnar and Nico. All we need is Lissandra and Annie.
Oh, Emperor's Divide comes out yet again as Poolbay this time is going to dash cannon. They get the flash out from Sounder. A couple of different Poolbays running away, but they go the same direction, and now Sounder's just waiting for a stab. There's the crash. Does manage to find it. Wants to set up the kill. For Call Me, he gets it. And throws out the dab. Nicely done. And that's actually first blood. What the heck? Okay, yeah, first blood, sure.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
At 13 minutes and 40 seconds. I thought while we were talking about weird other video games that someone would at least died.
2 objectives. Sorry, 2 Drakes and a Rift Herald already have been taken.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's just, you know, it feels like a game 4, you know? Like, it's
so
everything's,
straightforward
it's
as well.
a lot of...
Literally walks back into lane, dies.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there was some reinforcements on the way. We did see Lucid cancel his back, but there was also a Nautilus. So Poolbay was just dead. No salvaging this one. Doesn't know. Just accepts his fate.
Yep. And the horsey crashes into him. So Poolbay going to go back get himself a book because he didn't have a whole lot of money. So at least he manages to at least get that. But Call Me now comes back to lane with a Leandri is now completed. I love that, like, Call Me is not a crowner. He's just not, he's not a Crown Azir guy. He just does not believe in it, wants to do all of the boom booms.
Missed the Kanuni.
The Kanuni?
Kanuni! Yeah, I did.
Poolbay missed it? Oh, that's not what you want to see. I actually missed it, so I would have been without that sadness.
I'm sorry I did that to you, Atlas.
Oh, it's alright.
Didn't mean to. Actually, I did, otherwise I wouldn't have said it.
Oh no.
There's not a lot happening, Atlas.
No, there's
I'm kind
not.
of losing it.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit like we've yeah. Well, what is going to be the next thing? The next thing is going to be a Rift Herald that's going to be up in 7 seconds time. Currently, there is Nongshim towards the area. Rahel able to rotate over, get some vision down. But you can see it's mainly Nongshim vision in the area.
Yes. We see Nongshim move forward. Some damage into Lucid.
Yeah. Ooh, First Blood was at Leet timing. As old Leet speak, you know. Nice. 1337. You love to see that.
Setup being found here. Nongshim looking for the execution.
See what they can do. As D+ have got this one started up. Vital, fair bit of damage into Thumb. Oh no, maybe caught out of position and he should go down. He's trying to taxi his way out as now teleports coming in all over the place. Pulbay, this could be the time that he gets a massive Pop Blossom, but the rest of the team is running away from him. He's channeling it and finds absolutely nothing. The Blade Caller is decent here as Vital kind of free hitting Thanatos, running away. There's a big Gnar onto the Crocodile as Vital over the wall, able to offer the damage down, and Pulbay just looking to try and escape. He's not going to be able to, and it is just a disaster for D+ Kia. And they're not even able to get themselves the Herald.
And complete disaster there for D+. Herald goes down. That's like a 4-5k gold swing. That is, wow, that is truly... Where is the Silver Scribs? Yep, it's not looking too good. And yeah, Pulbay not finding anyone there, but it's a tough situation as well. I don't think if you flash over the other end of the wall that you really get anything going. And then more importantly, Thumb, his troubles continue. Yeah. This is going to be the Dragon now. Not getting soul point, falling almost 4k gold behind, and
that was the moment.
You just press R earlier. Yeah, it's understandable that you want to hold it, but you take so much damage, and I think you can see like D+ is like, oh, we have to try something. We see them play a little bit aggressive here.
Well, Sounder is going to get interrupted. That was a decent play there as the Moonlight Vigil comes down. Sounder will die as now Vital wants to get the feathers out, but they're not really there. And so this is going to be the turret and the kill onto the Rel.
Just tanks like free shots, that's fine.
Yeah, he's not worried about it. He's got that amount of health bar. That's a resource. You can use that. No worries there at all. So pulling themselves back into it just a little bit, but that was still a big swing for Nongshim.
Good catch, Emily. He didn't have his ult at the beginning there.
Oh,
I guess we can't trust this, unfortunately, because we don't actually know who has whether or not the ultimate is available at the back of this. But I'm gonna take your word for it. And then here we see Pulbay trying to set up a flank, but like if he flashes over into the pit, I don't think it really works. Just too fast there with his ultimate. Maybe he was expecting more people to pull over. Not going to be the case. That is stuck there. Really rough play from Pulbay, trying to make the best out of a bad situation, but no Rahel just ends up going down, and then Sounder kind of salvages it here for D+. Like gets cancelled mid-crash down, will immediately get taken out. They throw everything into him and keep this game a little bit interesting, because now that is 2k gold that went over to D+. So now it's only a 2.5k gold lead for Nongshim, which is still, again, they're a good team. And they're getting leads, and they're not going to be feeling too bad about it, but it is something.
The difficulty is that Nongshim are the team with match point, and if they get advantages, you can probably trust the momentum in the series to really help them push it forward as well. I mean, there's a lot that goes into the mental aspect of this, because D+, now they're feeling the pressure even more. And we keep getting reminded of the fact that, you know, Thumb is 14 years old.
Actually, he was 12.
And having to deal with, oh, right, he keeps getting younger.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No,
it's Benjamin Button Thumb.
He is 15. I mean, we'll turn 16 in 2 days.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people that turn 16 in the modern era know about the phenomenon of the Sweet 16. You ever watch that show? Sweet 16 on, I think it was MTV.
No. Don't think
Good.
so.
Good. Don't.
Okay.
It was.
I remember my 16th birthday. I prepared a surprise party for myself with my friend.
Okay.
It was fun.
Okay.
What? I was just saying.
You can't really throw yourself a surprise party, Atlas.
I did.
Yeah, that's not how a surprise party works.
And it was organized that everyone would try to surprise me, and then I got surprised and I jumped a fence out of my surprise.
Okay. I guess.
Yeah. That's how it works.
I don't know how you can surprise yourself.
That felt like a really cool thing to do when I was 16.
Yeah, when I was 16, we threw a mustache party. That made sense in my friend's backyard. And we all...
What does a mustache party entail? Just having mustaches?
Everyone was really into... No, like drawn on because we were 16. You know, like everyone was really into mustaches back then for some reason. I don't know, it was weird.
Huh.
It's a weird time.
I like it. You know, I'm okay with a mustache every now and again.
Well, yeah,
Remember
not if you Sharpie it on.
There were a lot of dress-up parties back in those times, and I discovered like the cheat code. I would just alternate as going as like dressing up as the Men in Black or the Blues Brothers.
No, that's boring.
Which just is the same outfit.
Atlas, that's basic.
It's pretty good.
That's basic.
I just like wore dark sunglasses, and I either wore a hat or not. It was it was the best. Well, you have to. It's Blues Brothers.
Atlas.
Fedatlas.
Fedatlas. What kind of life did you live? I was just your average run-of-the-mill Dutch, definitely not peaking in high school type of guy. Oh yeah.
Same.
World of Warcraft really did a number on me as we do get the cancel.
Yeah, Lucid is going to get Call Me, who has a nice Emperor's Divide and shifts the sands, gets out.
The
All right, and now Sounder might be dead. Thumb's going to come in. He's going to be able to get himself a kill. Is okay. Thanatos trying to find the angle. Nice knock-up. Magnus Storm's decent there as well as Thanatos sacrifices his health bar. The Gnar bar is actually fantastic as well as now Thumb is trying to limp his way out of it. It's a 1-for-1 in the end. Still more valuable for D+ because the mid laner does go down, but I don't think this is Nash time. And map control seems to have gone now over to Nongshim, given the fact that Thanatos teleported in and lost all of his health bar.
And I don't think that D+ can really contest for this objective here. Try and fight.
Mihail?
He's dead.
Are you okay? Well, he's running pretty quickly. HH is
so
dead.
Quick!
Who's dead? Moonlight Vigil's dead.
But,
okay.
But Mihail doesn't have TP. So I guess they get Nash? If they get Nash and Soul Point, they're actually back in it. TP's coming in from Call Me though.
Yeah, he doesn't have Empress Divide. Oh my god, okay. Poolbay is going to go golden. This means D+ have to get out of there. Poolbay almost dead. The Baron is turning on him, and Call Me is the one that secures the kill. And now Nongshim have continued I was about to say started the Baron. No, they've continued the Baron. And that will be taken. They're going to say thanks very much for the leash, guys. And it was all planned, I guess.
That's it. That's it. I know we're watching challengers, but
I thought you were going to say, that's it. I'm calling it. It's challenges, baby. I thought that's what you were going to do.
No, because that was just a Hail Mary from D+ after they realized that the game is in a pretty abhorrent state. I think that call to go for Baron there makes sense. It's never going to work, but you got to try something. And it is challengers, baby. And it unfortunately is looking like Nongshim are going to be bringing us to a 3-1 ending to this series.
It is looking a little bit like it.
Poolbay, oh, he got knocked off by Nash. Oh, that's a classic.
You can see who Summoner's Rift wants to win this series. Summoner's Rift wants to go.
Summoner's Rift is done for the day. Can you tell me what's going on in the game and the overall scene? This is challengers. These are up-and-coming players.
C-Town of 54, do you think that it's the best time to ask that question?
Well,
what does that mean?
I don't know. Like, maybe they're actually... Are you
like the challenger scene or League of Legends in general as a whole?
Are you a scout for an LPL, LEC, or LCS team? Because if you are, you have to tell me. That's not actually a thing, by the way.
What?
I heard this. People are like, yeah, if they're undercover, they have to tell you. That's not true.
Poolbay is going to get knocked up and destroyed.
Yeah, it's dead.
It's a nice Emperor's Divide.
It's fine. That's not how it works.
Sorry, yeah, you continue your story.
Defeat the whole point.
Call Me is now... Oh my god, he absorbs 2 ultimates! And then shifts to sands and gets out. Call Me is maybe the best player in the universe, I think.
Cold.
I don't think anyone's better than this guy. Sounder is just spamming, and they're given the Deft Alpaca emotes. This is completely Brover.
Poolbay is not even LCS level. Yes, that's good. No. I think they're committing to the bid.
Oh, they're committing to the bid.
I don't know. Maybe check the message history, because if they're not, then we can ban them. It's a win-win.
Bergfin, just give us a winky face in chat. Give us a winky face in chat.
If you're not toxic, winky face.
Yeah, if you're not toxic, winky face, please. Sounder is going to crash out of there. Call Me is going to take down this inner turret.
No other chatters.
Pizza Good Yum, stop it. Sajak, stop. Zombie. Oh god, Chillo on drugs. Oh god.
It's too late. He got Skynet got him. Skynet got him.
Well, he didn't even get to winky face.
Took a low guy shoot and was like, no.
Mihail's dead.
Yeah, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Just double checking.
Yeah, no,
I was too busy
okay.
watching Skynet. DSG clears these teams, by the way. Astro Nautilus is a known...
Skynet was right, of course.
Yeah.
I will never question Brandon Valdez.
he probably was already in the logs checking it out.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, 100%. Psychedelaholic is actually a great name.
So, oh, there we go, another one. That's a cool first message.
Oh, bye. It was lovely to see you. I'm glad you were here. Bye.
This is actually one of the, you know, usually it's kind of sad to watch teams lose, but in challengers it just brings out all the people you don't want in your chat. And
do you know what I really like?
It's
though?
very satisfying.
I really like that it's like at this end of the series because it makes it feel like the same cadence as like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
You know, because like at the beginning there's all the setup and then it feels like I've got like battle theme music going on while Skynet's just zapping all of the people. So we have like the space battle at the end.
No,
you know?
I get it. Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you cut to the Darth Maul lightsaber battle, and that one's also amazing. And that's when Valdez is going through the logs, you know, and it's a little bit more one-on-one.
How good is the Star Trek soundtrack, or the Star Wars soundtrack, man?
I mean, John Williams is
he's a magician.
Okay, there's a flash. It's only going to get Double H, and Sounder takes it as his opportunity. Pulbay is going to get obliterated. The stuns come through. Call Me finds the back line. Rahel doing a fair bit of damage, stays alive for a long time, but it does not matter. That Emperor's Divide was POG worthy to me. And Nongshim, 3-1 over D+, and they are 100% your favorites heading towards the final in just a few days' time. Nongshim, 2 summers in a row. Could the fairy tale come true? Brand new rosters, straight up from Academy. It don't matter. They are still taking names. And that is going to be that. That's the 3-1 victory for Nongshim.
And D+, they have a second life, but tonight's not about them. Tonight is about the Noodly Boys making their way back to a finals in summer in Challengers, but it's not the same lineup. And some dejected faces here. Thanatos head in his hands, but look at that HH in particular. What an arc this year for this roster.
Absolutely
Such
amazing.
a pleasure to watch these players develop.
Oh, the Feather Storm.
Yeah, preemptively. Saw it coming. Really nicely done by Vital. Flashes out as well to make sure.
There's a key play from everyone in this team fight though, because now Call Me just takes it as his time to shine and hits everyone. Like even Thanatos right on the edge gets clipped by that Emperor's Divide. Oh, just gorgeous play here from Nongshim as a whole, right? Because the Feather Storm reaction, perfect. Then the Magnet Storm reaction immediately after that Pop Blossom comes in, beautiful. And then Call Me just waits for the opportune moment and swoops in.
What I love is that Nongshim also, there is no, you know, them being so reliant on one style or one composition. I think that they have looked better in every single game, outside of the one that obviously was very D+ favored, where they got a huge early lead. And a large part of that, if we look at the D+ side, right, will come down to them missing their shot caller and FUM being a really big liability in his first series, right? And D+, maybe the lower bracket is what they need. They will be facing whoever wins between Humble Life and DRX.
Yep.
And I would still not be scared to take them over one of those teams.
I think we have to watch what happens in the games tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think that'll be very telling.
It will be. But then again, like especially after how the Humble Life series played out, I think that series will be close nonetheless. But I think realistically, you can say that you'd expect D+ to win against either of those. However, Nongshim, after this, should be the clear favorites. We have some must-bans, things like Call Me never getting Tristana, ever, clearly. But if Mahal gets Jax, the game is almost unplayable, right? If HH gets his Rakan, it becomes really tough to play out. And the fact that they have multiple different styles of compositions, they can play team fighting, they can play 1-3-1 as a challengers team for players this young, this inexperienced within this league. Absolutely stellar.
Yeah, no, just incredible stuff. And Nongshim picking up the 3-1. Not a lot of predictions saying a 3-1 on our side. Wolf and I said 3-1 for Nongshim, but I think a couple of the Korean casters did say some 3-1s.
Yeah, so the pregame prediction was exclusive. It was 5 Nongshim 4D+.
Yes.
So Nongshim was favored, and then I don't think anyone... Wait, Hojin did a 3-0, but that was for D+,
yeah, he
right?
did the D+ 3-0.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of 3-1s for Nongshim, I think. I don't think anyone predicted a 3-0.
Yeah, no, there were 2 3-1s, and then you and Wolf both went 3-2 for Nongshim.
Yes.
So Nongshim predictors definitely getting it right. I think there were 2 people, as mentioned. And I think this series played out not too far. Yeah, call me...
The most obvious, yeah.
This guy has just been on an incredible arc, this split, and it's super cool to watch him still develop.
And remember, like, so Call Me was playing all right in Challenger, and then he got sent up to the Nongshim roster and played against Faker and got kind of mega baited. If you remember, in the mid lane, he was playing Ahri into Faker, and Faker just kind of told Ono, like, this is what's going to happen, let's kill him, and they killed him, and it was... that was actually a clip that I saw recently on YouTube, just explaining how Faker is just amazing. But Call Me then has that experience, which wasn't necessarily positive on paper, but he uses that in order to propel his game this much further forward, and now is poised to grab Nongshim yet another Challenger title. And
it would also mean that the streak, or rather the ever since Challengers changed to this format, which I think was in 2021, well, not this exact format, right? They've had a different few ones, but when it was actually taken as an official part of the LCK as opposed to what it was before, right? What it used to be, there has never been a team that's won 2 in a row. D+ have obviously been supremely successful.
Yeah.
They got it 2 years over.
They've gone springs in a row.
Double spring, yeah. But they did lose in Game 5, right? Last year against Nongshim, and now they have to fight their way through the lower bracket to even have a chance to try and prolong their title. But when I'm looking at how well-rounded this Nongshim roster is, it's so cool. I'm really shocked. If you told me at the beginning of the year that this team, of all the teams, was going to be the one to do it, I would be kind of surprised. And this one for D+, I think, also a bit of a heartbreaker, because let's not forget, up until that Herald fight, they were like 2k gold ahead.
Yeah. And also, if you remember that, like, at the beginning of the season, one of the reasons why we were singing the praises of Nongshim was because Jiwoo was on this team.
And he is so good.
He is so good, but also, like, Vital got moved down because he wasn't performing very well in the LCK, and we've seen that happen quite a few times, right? Dundun even spent like a couple of matches, like a week on the roster as well, just to like stretch his legs, experience some Challenger just before he got sent back up again. And oftentimes when you get sent down, like the Karis situation, things like this, like it is so that you can work on your game and find yourself, but it's not necessarily a heartening thing to do, right? Because you're like, oh no, this is... it's not quite working out. Vital has taken it in stride, man. He has like gotten better and better and better, and he's somewhat coming back towards that form, like all those expectations that we had for him. All those, I mean, I guess years ago now, when we were hearing whispers of him coming back to the LCK. And it's just great to see this level of performance from these players.
And the struggle for Pool Bay continues. Are there any other games coming up? No, but there is something better, which is C4. And if you don't know what it is, you want to stick around. An absolute treat. And if you are a Challengers fan and you know what it is,
I don't even know what they just...
away.
Oh, man. I don't even know what they said. They got Skynetted way too quickly. Now I'm confused.
The inconsistency for D+ definitely continues. Pool Bay being the best example of this, going 0-5 in this one, I think, while simultaneously getting POG on the same champion in a previous game.
Yeah, where's Saint? He's on the bench.
I don't think that Pool Bay is the issue, though. I think there's a very clear weak link, unfortunately, for the team.
I'm just gonna have a look here. Average damage higher for Saint. Average gold higher.
He played one
average
series.
kill participation higher.
He played 3 games, Atlas.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Saint's just statistically the better choice. Some Atlas sample size, baby.
We had such a good day, Atlas. We had so much fun. Why would you have to? We're almost going home. You don't have to tilt me anymore.
No, I can though, because we're starting C4. It's the caster community chat corner situation. Caster chat community corner.
C4S.
Yeah,
it's a new version.
Caster chat community corner.
You said situation.
Situation. Yeah. That was just an aside. I just wanted to add that one on. Yeah, check Dust to DX. Thanks, Kenneth. I appreciate it.
Do you still want CLDK players in the main roster? The point is not that they're better than the main players, because they're not, but the main players are playing really poorly right now. So I think it makes sense to keep the current roster as is, but it's more about, it's the same reason why they played Bible and continued playing him even though it didn't work. It's because the status quo also didn't work, right?
No, it just, they didn't have a voice to tell them to do stuff in the mid to late game, and that seems to have been Bible in Challenger, because obviously they were playing so much better. They completely sacrificed this roster by bringing up an academy player that is about to turn 16, just so that Bible could play.
What, like 6-7 weeks into the into the split as well.
And changing out your main shot caller, no matter what role it is very detrimental, right? It's like taking Peanut out of Gen.G, like taking Lahens out of KT, like these things, like taking Beryl out of D+. Know what I'm saying? But that is 100% true. Like,
I could
Beryl,
feel you building up to it, man.
Okay, so we all know Beryl's mechanics have been atrocious this year.
Well, they got better in
did
playoffs.
They? I didn't even know whether they necessarily did.
He got 2v2 killed multiple times in lane for the entirety of the year until like the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but he knows how to play out the game as far as like the chess version of League of Legends. He understands the chess version of League of Legends very, very well. And so having that guy who just knows and with confidence tells the team what to do is extraordinarily important. And we've seen that for DRX already in their run towards playoffs, managing to get there in the end when there were like so many different teams that were like, first it was Kwangdong that were definitely getting in. Then it was Bro that were definitely getting in. Then it was Live Sandbox that were definitely getting in. And guess who got in? Beryl. 6th place, baby. That's 6th place is actually the most ideal position to be in the standings in order to win the World Championship. 6th place in the LCK.
One time.
Well,
happens once.
It's a new thing that we've developed. It's this
Beryl can't get to Worlds again this year. Clueless. Yeah, that's the problem. He's gone to Worlds every single year since he debuted,
and that
which is just unreal. On 2 different organizations, because it's DRX and
hasn't he been to Worlds knockouts as well?
So in 2019 they made it to quarters. In 2020 they won. 2021 they made it to finals. 2022 he won. God, Beryl. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah. And that 2019 run was probably the best actual gameplay that he had.
They got bopped by G2, right? And that's why they were so mad at them, and why they wanted revenge in 2020.
Yeah. And that was in their first. That was their first split, right?
It was, yeah.
That was their first split in the LCK.
Imagine if Nongsha made it to Worlds, you know? Like, that's actually... Imagine Dundon at
Imagine
Worlds.
if Pace made it to... Oh, wait, hang on, he did.
He did.
Yeah, he's done.
God, yeah, okay, but Pace is not... That's not normal. He's not normal.
He's also got Peanut and Chovy and
he also got absorbed into basically just be ruler light and we'll be good. And he was like, with Pace, to me, it's really a double feeling, because I think that there's both he's both under and overhyped. Like, I don't think that he is without a shadow of a doubt the best AD carry in the league.
No.
But at the same time, the fact that he can
he's better than he should be for now.
Like,
right?
the fact that he can follow up after ruler and not feel like a huge downgrade is... Well, as a rookie, it's just mind-blowing.
It's the fact that you take Ruler out of that team that played every single game for Ruler, and the team still looks really good. That's absurd, and that should never make sense.
No,
it should never be a thing. So that's, and also the fact that you take out Lahens at the same time.
Yeah,
if you think back to what Gen.G was last year, that team was cracked out of its mind.
Yeah.
Super duper good. I guess they won a whole bunch.
I mean, they only lost.
They didn't quite do it internationally, right?
Well, I mean, they only lost to the eventual world champion, as we know now. So, Can you be mad? Not really.
True, I guess.
Delight, yeah, Delight has been. Delight was, although, like, he was always the savant pick for, like, oh, but what about Bro Delight, actually? He's
but, like,
really
honestly,
good.
yeah, when he was, like, him and Henna, like, Henna also has flourished, weirdly enough, with Effort. Effort also not looking that terrible. But, like...
Yeah, since the meta shifted, he's been better.
Yeah.
By the way, you know...
Engage supports, right?
I just want to tell you, you know what the buffs on the current patch on 13.16 were? Silas, Akali, Lucian, and Caitlyn.
Can I get some susja in the chat? Some susja.
Yeah. This isn't the actual
and then you know what's gonna
happen? It'll be the next one. Humble Life's not gonna make it to Worlds.
Well, I mean,
that's what you're talking about, right? Because it'll be Barrow instead. What then?
I didn't say it.
And then
I didn't say it.
Paddock is gonna get a Worlds Caitlyn skin.
Probably. Right? No, Beryl will get it. Beryl wants his Caitlyn skin.
Because they'll go back to... Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. This is what I have to deal with, chat. You know what the worst part is?
Broly understands. He just gets it, man.
Until it's mathematically impossible, I'm going to have to keep hearing it. And that's already bad. But what's worse is the possibility that it is Barrow. I'll have to cast another... No, I actually... it would be such an insane...
It would just be the best.
It would be such an insane arc.
Like, think
if
about
they do it again.
Dude, Croco will be at Worlds.
I know. Well, that's what... You know,
Fate will be at Worlds.
Every time I'm mad about Beryl making jokes about it, it's not because I'm mad about Beryl. It's because I don't want to believe in Croco making it because it will make me so happy.
Do you know what the best thing is?
If he makes it, then I'll be ecstatic. It doesn't matter if he completely botches it. You know, I will be a Croco fan no matter what. But if I start believing and he doesn't make it to Worlds again in a game 5 like last year.
He also lost a Beryl, so what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? You know, like the Gen.G super team couldn't do it. Croco couldn't do it. It's a wash. You know, it's fine.
The greatest player of all time couldn't be Beryl.
There's inevitability. I mean, who's the greatest player of all time, really? Like, ask me that question after he wins another one. If he
wins another Worlds.
If he wins another Worlds, I think Beryl is actually he's an enigma. I can't tell you why, but he is the greatest player of all time if that happens. Like, if he does that, 3 different rosters, and comes from 6th place twice.
If he does it again, I mean, the conversation will be very different, that's for sure.
Oh my god. Okay,
Hair bet?
What am I gonna bet, though? Okay, I'm going to... So, like, my fade on the side here, I'll shave Keck W across the side of my head.
If Beryl
wins Worlds again.
Okay, I love that.
I will do that.
The face or in letters?
In letters.
Why not the face?
Because I'm not an artist?
Well, no, you'll ask your barber.
Yeah, he's not an artist either. He's a hairdresser.
Oh, it's fine.
No, just the letters. Just the letters is fine.
Someone get the clip. Oh, don't you worry. Chat will be on it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll probably be relatively safe, but honestly, I would happily do that if it did happen again. As let's have a look at what this means for our bracket. Tomorrow, Humble Life Esports taking on DRX. Valdez and Wolf have got your backs for that one. We'll see whether DeCrank is going to make his way out. We're going to have to do our best. We're going to have to do our best to be the Skynets for tomorrow. Thankfully, Skynet in full effect today. Thank you so much, Valdez, for hanging out and making sure that the chat is just amazing as per usual. And D+ going to be waiting to face off against the winner of that match. And I don't really have a prediction just yet. I actually think that it'll be the team that shows up, right? Like, I think either of these teams have the capability of doing it. I think that Smart Money's probably DRX because Docdom has the most experience and is a huge factor here. Should be able to shut down what is a very strong part of Humble Life Esports, but I don't really know.
No, I think I went with DRX, but just because I trust Docdom and Plata a lot. And
280 carries is better than 1.
Yeah. And even whichever of these teams end up facing D+, it's so hard. I think that D+ actually is the hardest team to predict right now because of the fun factor.
I think D+ loses to whoever gets up there.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, but we'll see.
No, I don't know either, but I think that like that's
the fun factor.
Yeah, I think that D+ are deteriorating, and whoever wins here has just won, right? And so the momentum situation, and I think that'll be enough because these top 4 teams have actually been really close.
I do think I'm unless it's the only team that I think can maybe best Nongshim is DRX. That's the only one that I see actually winning. Outside of that, I'm a believer. You know, mahal me to another victory in summer for the Noodle Boys.
Imagine it. We have the same...
Call me the champion, maybe.
Do you know what I just realized? The most cursed timeline? Nongshim wins challenges. Gen.G is going to win the LCK, and DRX are going to win Worlds. Oh, the more things change, the more they stay the same, Chronicler. Oh dear, I'm just gonna have the Keck W. It's basically already there. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? It's like it's pretty much already there. I can see it. I can see it now. That's not stop comment time yet. It's not yet. You have to put up with this. It's gonna actually just be exactly the same. Can you wait for 2024? The exact same thing? All over again?
Why must you make me suffer like this? Continue! Stop saying continue! Comment, chat!
Oh, can I get a quick recap? So Nongshim came in, blasted game number 1, looked fantastic. D+, had a bit of a recovery in game number 2, looked all right, especially from the mid lane. The Nico performance was fantastic, but then the next 2 games, Nongshim kind of crushed them, and then it was a 3-1. But now it is time for us to do the thing that we want to do the least, and that is to stop comment.
do. I want to stop comment.
No.
I don't want to suffer anymore.
We don't want to stop comment. We want to keep talking about the fact that DRX is probably going to win Worlds again, and Gen.G is going to win, and Nongshim's going to win. But we have to stop. So we'll see you tomorrow for more Challenger.